I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
And Jesper de Jong.
I'm Henry Laakson.
I am Francisco Cerundolo, and you are listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. Tonight we have our first quarterfinal match up for the men's side of the US Open. We have the Italian Matteo Berrettini against the Norwegian Casper Ruud. I hope you are excited as I am. I'm still hungover from yesterday's tennis drama all over the place. We have Nadal being eliminated by Tiafoe. Then we had these marathon matches for Alcaraz versus Cilic and Sinner against Ivashka. And it almost feels like, that should be the climax of the tournament, how it all went yesterday. But no, we're now coming to the exciting business end of this tournament. And I see there are a lot of Berrettini fans in the chat and maybe also some Casper Ruud fans. Let's see here. We've already got Ted saying that it's going to be Berrettini. Ruud is going to be 5-7 first set for Ruud, and then 6-4 Berrettini, 6-4, 2-6, 7-5 in a marathon matchup of 4 hours and 36 minutes, predicting there that Berrettini is going to take it. We've got JC in the house. Welcome, saying that Ruud is going to take it in 4 sets, or hoping maybe rather that Ruud is going to take this in 4 sets. And Laviancho saying 2 Pokemon Clash. Wow, make it your bets, ladies. Once Noel isn't here, the only 2 options were Chorik and Sinner, and the rest are, well, you can read that on your own. Dominic saying Berrettini is going to take it in straight sets. Wow, a lot of confidence there by Dominic. We have some Matteo fans there in the chat already. Fantastica saying that Berrettini will take it, and Asayas also there rooting for Berrettini. It's interesting to read or to listen to Ben and JG's predictions for the quarterfinals previous to this match, as we have Ruud serving first, and I think JG had Berrettini winning in 4 sets, and then Ben saying it will be straight sets. So that's interesting confidence there that they have in Berrettini, as Ruud will be serving first as he serves to the forehand of Berrettini. Now to the forehand of Berrettini, to the backhand of Ruud, who goes cross-court into the forehand of Berrettini, tries to go down the line, but Berrettini hits it in the net, and it is 15 love for Ruud serving first. Tell me in the chat, what is your prediction for this match? Who's going to take this, and what is the scoreline going to be? Right, we have Ruud serving again to now slice by Berrettini. We know that Berrettini's backhand can be a bit of a weakness. Let's see what role this will play in this matchup. I don't personally think it will play that big of a role. I think his backhand, even though it's maybe not like his best shot, it's not such a weakness that it can be maybe exploited by maybe the likes of Casper Ruud, but we'll have to see. I think that will be the game plan by Casper Ruud, maybe to try and exploit that backhand, although I don't think the backhand is that bad as people want to make it out as. I think it's just not maybe such a weapon, but is it really that bad, especially on what a beautiful forehand cross-court there by Berrettini as he takes his first point on this game. It is 30-15. And I think on a court that is as fast as this, I think the backhand is not really that big of a problem because he doesn't really have to hit through it very hard. He can just time it, and then automatically with the pace of that court, he can ensure that it's not as big of a weakness versus, let's say, on a slower court, as Ruud is now serving to the backhand of Berrettini unreturned there, and it is 40-15. We have a question here. Sorry, I'm unsure how to pronounce your name. Who do you think is going to win the tournament? It's very, very difficult. I must say it's now open for everybody, right? I'm going to go with Nick Kyrgios. I think something tells me that he's so focused this year, and I think he sees now this massive opportunity. And interestingly enough, as Ruud is able to close out that first service game, and he leads 1-0. So yeah, I think it's interesting to note that Kyrgios is actually the oldest player in the draw at this stage, which is odd because you always think of Kyrgios as this still pretty young player, but I mean, he's the oldest person in the draw, so he's sort of like the senior, if you will, of the quarterfinalists, which is interesting. So I'm going for Nick Kyrgios to take the tournament, but tell me in the chat, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be an Alcaraz first Grand Slam title and thereby clinch the world number 1, or what do you think is going to happen? It's interesting to note the scenarios for world number 1 based on what can happen in this tournament. If Ruud is able to make the final and Alcaraz not, then Ruud will be world number one. If Alcaraz is able to make the final and not Ruud, then Alcaraz will be number one. If both of them make the final, then they will battle it out for world number one. And how insane will that be? And if neither of them make the final, then Rafael Nadal will stay the world number one, as Berrettini is now serving at love 1, second serve. He serves with the backhand of Ruud. I think it's let. Berrettini. Oh, it's a double fault. Starts with a double fault, and it is love 15 for Ruud. Hi, Lexi. Nice to have you in the chat. Lexi going for Casper in 5 sets. Okay, that's a very bold and interesting decision. I know that you are a Casper Ruud fan. Yeah, let's see. I would not be surprised if it goes the distance. As I've mentioned now previously, JG went for 4 sets, Berrettini. Ben went for 3 sets, Berrettini, which is interesting to note. Personally, my prediction is going to be 4 sets for Berrettini, but we'll have to wait and see. It's interesting when you look at the head-to-head between Berrettini and Ruud. It is 3-2 for Ruud. However, it's very clear that if the surface is fast, then the advantage goes for Berrettini, and when the surface is slow, then it goes to Ruud. This court is quite fast. Usually, the US Open is not your fastest court, but the past 2 or 3 years, the court has sped up significantly, which should favor Berrettini. As he now puts his backhand to the forehand of Ruud, who goes cross-court to the backhand of Berrettini. Ruud running around his backhand to his forehand and goes down the line. Berrettini not able to handle that, and it goes wide by Berrettini, and it's 15-30. Hi, MJ. Nice to have you in the chat also again. The regulars showing up. Saying you want Ruud to win, but you think Berrettini in 4. All right, interesting. Yeah, I also predict that it will be Berrettini in 4. Lexi saying I'm a sucker for a 5-setter match and need to support my homeboy. Well, Lexi, maybe it's your lucky day in that sense, because usually for some reason when I commentate, it always goes the distance. I don't know why it happens. It's like it can be world number 1 against number 70, and it also goes 5-setter. Actually, when I prepared for the set and I was thinking about my previous streams, I actually want to go back because actually there's actually a possibility, as Ruud now has 2 breakpoint opportunities. But there's a possibility that I've never commentated a match which have not gone the distance. So, I mean, statistically, this then should go the distance if I'm commentating. The previous match I commentated was the Shapovalov versus Rublev, which we know was a marathon. As Berrettini will now try to save 2 breakpoint opportunities as he's serving at 15-40. He says the forehand of Ruud is a big serve. A block return there by Ruud, who goes to the forehand of Berrettini. Cross-court by Berrettini. Berrettini now going to the net. And Berrettini hits it wide. Berrettini hits it wide, and Ruud gets his first break. Did you predict that? That was definitely not my prediction, but Ruud breaks immediately as he leads 2-5.
On the court, you'll be singing the blues. He got the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper Ruud. It's Casper Ruud.
All right, already making a statement here that is not just here to make up the numbers, but we have a beautiful drop shot there by Berrettini. Beautifully executed with a slice backhand, and it is love 15. I'm just saying I think Ruud wins on clay versus Berrettini, but lost the one on hard court. Yeah, so they have played 5 times. Now, we're testing my memory here. So they played once at the US Open, I think, which was, last year, which Berrettini won in straight sets. And then they played in Gstaad earlier this year, which was on clay, which Ruud won. And then on the French Open, they played as well, which Casper Ruud won. And they played at Madrid, which Berrettini won, which we know is a very faster clay court. Am I missing one? I'm not sure now. But yeah, that's what I can remember. But there's a clear pattern that on the faster courts, Berrettini is the favorite in this head-to-head. Although Berrettini is also very, very good on clay. I think very underrated on clay. As we know that Berrettini, the past year or so in Grand Slams, the only people that he loses to is basically Rafa and Roger. So this is also a great opportunity for him, given that they are not in the draw, to maybe clinch his Grand Slam, as Ruud goes cross-court with a beautiful winner with his forehand, and he leads 40-15, trying to take control of this match and make it maybe a 3-love lead. Lexi saying the Shapo Rublev match was my match of the tournament. Yeah, I have to agree with you there. It was just insane. The quality. I mean, winners left and right. I feel like both players played really, really well. And we see then at the end of the match, they actually both that exactly the same quantity of points that they won. Can't remember what it was. It was like 132 or something. So from a Shapovalov point of view, it's very unfortunate that he wasn't able to pull it through. But I mean, both of them played so well. And it's one of those cases where you feel like both of them deserve to go through. Like Shapovalov at 75 winners. But yeah, that was just a very, very entertaining match to commentate as Ruud is able to hold there and he leads 3 games to love. But yeah, saying you like Ruud, you want Ruud to win in straight sets. 6-love, 6-love, 6-love. I think that's unlikely, although currently it's on the cards, but I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, MJ saying it was not US Open 2021, it was US Open 2020. So that also means that we have to be careful of interpreting these head-to-head matches where the players weren't necessarily the players that they are today already. Like Casper Ruud in 2020, I can't remember him in 2020. I remember he played Roger Federer in the French Open in, what's that, 2021? Was it 2020? I can't remember now. But yeah, Casper Ruud 2020, he's obviously wasn't, I don't know what his ranking was then, but it was definitely not near the ranks of number 5. So we have to take that result with a pinch of salt. Berrettini winning that matchup. Utai, we have Berrettini. Let's go standing up for you from Italy. I think Italian fans will be delighted with the draw currently standing with both Matteo Berrettini and Yannick Sinner performing so well for Italy. Very, very well done indeed. Oh, interesting. You were there for that match between Berrettini and Ruud. That's interesting. And Lexi pointing out it was sad that only one could win between the matchup, I assume, talking about Rublev and Shapovalov. Man saying an indoor hard court could be better condition for Berrettini, but yeah, I agree. It will probably add a little bit of pace to his serve if it was as such. Lexi saying Rublev is also one of the players I support, so it was really something I enjoyed. Well, I'm a big Shapovalov fan, so it was disappointing from a result perspective, but from a quality perspective, it was really, really, really good. I'm just saying I was bummed for Rafa. I mean, how sad was that? So, I mean, and shame I feel for JG as well. Like, also especially seeing his reaction in the reaction video that they had afterwards. I mean, it's just always sad when your hero loses. It's just always very, very sad. And I think it makes it a bit difficult when the player is not coming back soon. You know, it makes it easier when you know at least they're going to play soon again. And then they can like win again and make you forget about the loss. But in Rafa's case, I'm not sure when he is going to return. I mean, he said in his press conference that he will only return when he feels mentally ready, which made me wonder like whether he's maybe going to pull out of the Laver Cup. I'm not sure. Tell me in the chat, what do you think? Do you think Rafa is going to come back before the end of the year? Or do you think he might consider like only coming back in 2023? Honora saying you can see that Ruud wants to win that slam. He's really underrated on hard court. Mashe, this year especially, like his results on the hard court has really become something special. As Berrettini under pressure with his serve already at love 30. And you can see that he's disappointed with himself over there. Can Ruud maybe clinch a double break? All right, let's see. Berrettini serving at love 30. Ah, that's an ace. Clutch serving over there as it takes it to 15-30. Man saying in your last live stream was Shapo versus Rublev. Shapo total points 184. Rublev 183. Okay, that's interesting. On Twitter, I saw 183 each, but it's possible that it's 184 Shapo, meaning that he actually won more points, which is what they call in tennis the Simpson paradox. where you could get these cases where the winner actually got more points than the loser, which is interesting statistically. As Berrettini is able to get through that service game, not the game, the points as well. So it's 30 all. Can he survive the service game? He serves 30 all. Fault, second serve. Berrettini with the second serve to the backhand of Ruud, who goes on the lines. A great return there by Ruud. Ruud now with the forehand to the backhand of Berrettini, who overcooks it and is 30-40, meaning it's another break point opportunity here for Casper Ruud. Oh my goodness, can he make it a double break? Oof. Let's see whether he can convert this next break point. Berrettini serving to the forehand of Ruud. It's a nice block return there by Casper. Casper now with the forehand cross-court to the forehand of Berrettini. Also goes cross-court now down the line by Ruud. Berrettini is it in the net. Berrettini is it in the net, and it's like silenced by the crowd. It's like everybody's shocked. And it's a packed crowd. It's not like there aren't a lot of people, but it's like silence after Casper Ruud just broke for the second time. And that means that he leads in his first set 4-0.
On the court, you'll be singing the blues. He had the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper Ruud. It's Casper Ruud.
All right, and if Casper Ruud can consolidate here, it will be such a lead that I don't think Berrettini come back in the set. Tell me in the chat, Berrettini fans, are you worried at this stage? Or do you think that he will bounce back after this? I guess from a Casper Ruud perspective, you could not have asked for a better start to this match. Thank you for everybody for joining me tonight. If you're enjoying this coverage, do consider hitting the like button. It really helps the algorithm out for A Game to Love. And subscribe to the channel if you are new. As Casper Ruud is hitting a big forehand to the backhand of Berrettini. Now cross-court forehand again by Ruud. He looks in total control and so relaxed. As Ruud now goes for a backhand to the forehand of Berrettini. That's a big forehand there by Berrettini. But the response by Casper Ruud is once again so nonchalant. As Berrettini goes for a backhand, cross-court by Berrettini. And Ruud hits it in the net. And it's probably the longest rally we had so far this match. Berrettini coming out at the other end of it. And it is 15 all, as there's a bit of a celebration from the crowd. 20 shots there by that rally. And it seems like the crowd is going to be supporting Matteo Berrettini in this matchup. If I consider that that's the largest noise I've heard this far in this match. MJ noting that, yeah, I always have the same hoodie, but a different color. Correct. There wasn't a sale, but it's a case of, yeah, it's the same store where they're different colors of the same thing. As this unreturned serve by Berrettini, and it is 30-15 for Casper Ruud. Hi, Capricorn. Nice to have you in the chat again. Yeah, so Ruud officially on a magma for love. I must say, I did not see this coming. I mean, a lot of people had maybe Ruud winning tight, and it could still be tight in terms of the sets, but I don't think anybody saw the match starting like this. Ruud in complete control as he serves now to the forehand of Berrettini. Berrettini now with a slice backhand to the forehand of Ruud. There's a nice banana forehand there by Ruud, and Berrettini overcooks it there. And it's 40-15. I must say, Ruud is looking really, really comfortable out here this far. He doesn't have to go for a lot of risks or big shots this far. He's just very comfortable standing behind the baseline and waiting for Berrettini currently to make the error. Mark saying it's going to be straight sets for Casper. Yeah, well, let's see. I must say, that will be surprising, given like the predictions before this match. Berrettini was favored on the TNNS app with 53%. As Berrettini now, it's a forehand to the forehand of Ruud. Ruud now with a forehand cross-court to the backhand of Berrettini, goes on the line to the forehand of Ruud. And Ruud tries to go for a top spin forehand cross-court, but he hits it wide, and it is 40-30. Kenneth saying, I guess he's not the friendly ghost. Must say Ruud one of the nicest guys on tour. In terms of unforced errors, we see that the Berrettini has already hit 10 unforced errors and Casper Ruud only one, which was that one we just saw now, where he tried to go for too much topspin, leading to that erroneous forehand, as he serves now a fault second serve. All right, let's see. Ruud. Oh, was that in? It was in. But the return by Berrettini is long, meaning that it's another hold for Casper Ruud, and he leads 5 games to love. Oh my goodness. Is this match going to be over like in an hour? Or do you think Berrettini is going to bring some form to the table?
On the card, you'll be singing the blues. He got the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper Ruud. It's Casper Ruud.
All right. I just want to go back here to, as MJ points out, someone said it's going to be 6-love, 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 and we all had a laugh at the lame joke. But, I mean, how it's looking right now. So I'm going to find that comment and I just want to pin it. There we go. I have it. So that if by the end of the day, that is the score, I just want to contact that person to know, like, how is the rest of my life going to plan out? Capricorn saying JG was mocking Ruud today during the predictions live stream. So Ruud's like, see what I can do. Yeah, I see. Like he said, well, JG said, as far as I can remember, there's going to be 4 sets to Berrettini, and then Ben said, no, it's going to be 3 sets Berrettini. God, and shame, like, yeah, JG said yesterday during the live stream after the Rafa reaction that it will be bad for the sport if Casper Ruud becomes world number 1. And I liked his honesty, to be honest. Like, at least yeah, he feels like he can give his opinion. It is interesting to note, so I've said here now earlier that if Casper Ruud is able to make the final and Alcaraz is not able to make the final, then Casper Ruud will be world number 1. If Casper Ruud is able to make the final and Alcaraz, then they will fight for world number 1. And if Casper Ruud is not able to make the final and Alcaraz is able to make the final, then Alcaraz will be world number 1. And if neither of them make the final, Nadal will stay the world number 1. So it'll be interesting if, and as Casper Ruud tries to hit that forehand down the line, but he's just wide, and it is 15-love for Berrettini. So if Casper Ruud is able to make the final and Alcaraz as well, let's say Alcaraz wins the match and Casper Ruud, no, sorry. Let's say Casper Ruud makes the final, but he plays against someone that is not Alcaraz, but loses. Then he'll be world number 1, despite having lost the final, which would be interesting in the sense that then the past calendar year, like the 52 weeks, which determines the world number 1 ranking, he would not have won a Grand Slam or a Masters 1000 or even a 500, but he's world number 1. So that's just an interesting observation. I doubt whether that has ever happened in the history of the sport. I think when Andy Murray got world number 1 in 2016, he didn't win a Grand Slam during those 52 weeks prior, but he did. No, he did. He won Wimbledon, obviously. What am I saying? Yeah, take that comment back. Yeah, so it will be interesting to see if somebody's able to get world number 1 without basically either Grand Slam or Masters 1000 or a 500 to his name. He has 3 250s on his resume. As Berrettini, it's a big ace there, and it is 40-love trying to get his first game on the board. So tell me in the chat, what is your opinion on this Casper Ruud thing? Like, I mean, statistically, if he is world number 1, then by definition, he does deserve it because, I mean, mathematically, that's how it's determined. It's not like a subjective judge saying, okay, that should be number 1. So, I mean, is he deserving of it? Well, yes. Statistically, he is, if that mathematically how it plans out. 4015. Big serve there by Berrettini. Now it goes down the line, but it's long. Range of errors here by Berrettini tonight, and it's 40-30. David, welcome in the chat, saying Casper Ruud really not making many errors whatsoever. So impressive in every rally. Compact forehand, outdoing him with the backhand, solid in the slice, loving the start. Yeah, it's really been like solid stuff here by Casper Ruud this far. And as I said, like he doesn't really have to go for much this far. If Casper Ruud, if Berrettini is gonna keep on bleeding errors, then that's all Casper has to do. Put the ball back into play, which is a talent in itself. As Casper Ruud is not able to return that ball back in play, Berrettini saying, I'm not going to be bageled, at least in this set. It is 5-1 with Berrettini with his first game on the board. All right, and Ruud will now be serving for a set. Can he at least make it a breadstick? As he's serving now to the forehand of Berrettini. It's a late first serve. Liam, nice to have you in the chat as well. Long time, as MJ also says. Okay, Capricorn saying, what's the big deal if someone becomes world number one before winning a slam? Yeah, I agree. Like mathematically, as I stated, it is inherently fair if they do become world number one because, I mean, yeah, you can do it. It's just interesting that it's not a Grand Slam. It's also neither a Masters 1000 nor a 500. So that's just interesting. I'm not saying it's unfair, but it's an interesting statistical observation, nevertheless. As Berrettini slices with his forehand to the forehand of Ruud. Oh, that's a beautiful cross-court winner there by Ruud. Wow. Well done. It's 15 love. Mark, your commentary is excellent, mate. Oh, thank you very much. Liam saying Casper is curious as kryptonite. Someone cool, calm, and collected that will not be faced by Santix. I could not agree more, Liam. I could not agree more. If you look at head-to-heads, Kyrgios, I mean, the people that he struggles against, it's against people the likes of Batista, Gut, and Nishikori. And I feel like Casper Ruud falls perfectly into that category as well. So I really think, yeah, I agree that the Casper Ruud could be really troublesome for Nick Kyrgios, and we all know like they don't have the best relationship, do they? And neither does Kyrgios or Kachanov. I don't know whether you saw the sort of fight that they had on Twitter during COVID. So yeah, it's interesting that Kyrgios has a bad relationship with both Kachanov and Ruud, although it could be said, I guess, with many players. As Berrettini hits that return long, and it is 30-15. Sorry, I'm a bit behind in the chat, so I'm sometimes I'm not sure what you're referring to here. So sorry, Lexi, I'm not sure I get that reference. Liam saying, bring back the suit. Yeah, maybe I should for another match sometime. Suit up and give this US Open the respect it deserves. All right, let's see. Casper Ruud serving fault as he has 2 set points up his sleeve. Second serve. As he serves to the backhand of Berrettini. It's a good return. Berrettini with a forehand cross-court to the forehand of Ruud. And now Berrettini with down the line with a big forehand winner as he saves set point, and it is 40-30. I think Berrettini probably already lost the set. It's now a question of whether he can take some confidence, at least a little bit, into the second set. Ruud now with the second set point on his serve, 40-30. And it goes out. So it's second serve. To the backhand of Berrettini, goes cross-court with his return. Ruud now cross-court with his forehand, and Berrettini hits it wide with his backhand. And it's almost like a very strange reaction by the crowd. Not a lot of reaction, but hey, here we have Casper Ruud taking the first set 6-1, taking that breadstick, and he comfortably is leading this match 1-0.
On the court, you'll be singing the blues. He had the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper Ruud. It's Casper Ruud.
All right. So surprising, definitely from my side. I don't know about you. Tell me in the chat. Do you think it's going to keep continuing like this, or is this going to change? I mean, from Casper Ruud's perspective, he should just continue playing like he does. Very, very solid. Berrettini, first serves 50% for Berrettini, 85% for Casper Ruud. And I mean, if there's one person that needs to rely on his serve, that should be Berrettini. So we should keep an eye on whether Berrettini is able to improve his serve over there. 6-1. Liam saying people sleeping on Sinner, definitely. It was interesting to see him playing 5-setter against Ivashka, and Alcaraz also playing a 5-setter against Cilic. So it could have been quite interesting if we had a Cilic versus Ivashka quarterfinal. I mean, that was very close to being the case. And then I would say Cilic would be the favorite there. I mean, he played very, very well yesterday against Alcaraz. So, I mean, Cilic in a semifinal, and then from there, you never know. I mean, the defending, well, not defending champion, but previous champion of 2014. And to be honest, if Cilic was still here, I would probably say he's the favorite. Because he knows what it's like to be a champion, and the others don't. And not only is he a previous champion, he's a previous champion of this court. Capricorn saying, I think it's going to be a Kyrgios and Carlitos final. Yes, I agree with you. That's my prediction as well. Nate saying, I'd give Rublev an outside chance to win this tournament. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, before this tournament started, I don't think anybody had Rublev really on their radar, as he had a really poor season. You could argue, like, the whole year, he's not really been his best. As Berrettini is serving first in the set, and he takes it 15-love on his first point. So, yeah, you never know. I mean, Rublev, he played so well against Shapovalov and then followed it up with a convincing win against Norrie. So that could be interesting. And against Tiafoe, I would say he should be the favorite against Tiafoe. And then he's in the semis. And that will be his first semi-final Grand Slam appearance. And then from there, anything can happen, really. Yeah, and Lexi pointing out the US Open is totally not behind Casper. That's the idea I get as well. I think it's been very silent thus far, and I think the reason is not because they are like unenthusiastic, but just because of from a Berrettini perspective, there hasn't been really much to celebrate about. So we'll see now if Berrettini is able to hold here. Let's try and look at the crowd reaction. And you can see them already like cheering for him now, getting to 40-love. So, yeah, I think it's quite clear here that the crowd will be behind Berrettini tonight. Will that help? Well, it didn't in the first set. We'll have to see. Let's see. Now, Berrettini going to the net. And Ruud not able to go there for a passing shot. And Berrettini holds, crucially, one might say. He holds the first game. And not only just holding, but it's a game to love for Matteo Berrettini. Yeah, so as I said, I think if Ruud broke there, then it's basically match over. Now, Berrettini maybe, as he's now leading in the set at least. I mean, from a statistical perspective, right, whether you lose the set 6-1 or 7-6, statistically it means the same. It's one set. So if Berrettini can think of it like that and try to start fresh in his mindset, forget about the first set, then that breadstick doesn't maybe matter as much. It all depends on whether he can try to put that out of his mind and whether he can lift his form, as Ruud will now be serving. Josh was saying that Berrettini needs to fix his serve. He makes adjustments as he goes along. He's beaten Ruud in the past. I think he'll come back and win. Oh, he'll definitely have to fix a lot of things that he did incorrectly in the first set. As Berrettini hits that backhand in the net, and it is 15-love for Casper Ruud. Sure. Chat is very, very active, which I love. It's just a bit difficult to follow. So sorry if I missed some of your messages. I'm trying to follow along here. As Ruud is now serving at 15-love to the backhand of Berrettini, goes for the slice. Oh, that's a big cross-court forehand winner there by Casper Ruud. And it's looking so comfortable. And it is 30-love for Casper Ruud. Capricorn saying, Gil Gross predicted an Nadal defeats Fritz final. Now he's ashamed of not making videos. I must say, I really miss it. Like, I search for it also, like, throughout this tournament to get his perspective on stuff, but then he's not there. But no, I think the reason is that he commentates officially for the tennis channel. Is it called that? I think so, in the United States. So he's busy there. So therefore, he doesn't have time to work on his own individual channel. As Berrettini slices that ball in the net, and it is 30-love, 40-love for Casper Ruud. All right, let's see. Casper Ruud serving at 40-love. Can he also hold to love in this game? As he serves to the backhand of Berrettini, goes on the line. It's a great return there by Berrettini as Casper Ruud hits that in the net, and it is 40-15. Jane saying that he was calling, referring to Gil Gross, the Cinematch. When you say calling, do you mean like he was commentating? And if so, where is it? Like on a television channel in the United States, or how does that work? Interesting. Gil is an excellent analyst. Yeah, I agree, and also very entertaining. Like, it's one thing to be a good analyst. Oh, that's a great drop shot there by Ruud, but Berrettini gets there. Berrettini, oh, Ruud with a lob. Berrettini struggling to get back to the court. Berrettini gets it back as well. Ruud now with a smash, and Berrettini hits it in the net. Oh, wonderful play there by both players there. And Berrettini is there in the net in the end, but it was a beautifully executed lob by Ruud, but then also well done to Berrettini, who was able to get back and put the ball back into play. As Ruud does hold his game to love, and it is 1-all. Yeah, so with regards to Gil Gross, I mean, yes, he's a good analyst, but he's also like entertaining to listen to with his perspective. So yeah, I'm a big fan of his channel. Saying that, yeah, he may not make the right predictions, but the best analysts can't. Yeah, and I also, like, he hates making predictions because he feels so pressurized because people will, I mean, and proven now, they will then afterwards go and compare the actual results to his predictions, and he doesn't like that. But he realizes that people love watching predictions, so therefore he still does it. Sam saying, Lexi, I picked Matteo in 5, but I know I'm wrong. Yeah, I picked Matteo in 4. Can still happen, as he is now serving at 15-love to the forehand of Ruud. He goes for a block return. Drop shot by Berrettini. Ruud gets there, though. Oh, that's a lovely volley by Matteo Berrettini, but Ruud gets it back. Smash by Berrettini now. Ruud gets it back again. Matteo Berrettini with a backhand in the net. Berrettini in the net. Oh, that was so well done there by Ruud. His defense on full display during that point. Berrettini did so well with his volleys, but Berrettini, it was a tweener. It was a tweener by Ruud. He's just doing nothing wrong today, is he? That's excellent, and it's 15-all on the serve of Berrettini. Let's see. Backhand serve to Ruud. Ruud now with the backhand. Matteo at the net. Volley. Ruud now. Matteo with a volley again. Oh, what a passing shot by Casper Ruud. What a passing shot with his forehand. Berrettini at the net. He couldn't put his 2 volleys away. Ruud goes for the passing shot and executes it beautifully. I must say, I'm really impressed. Yeah, I must say that volley by Berrettini was a bit short there at the end, which Casper Ruud was then able to generate enough topspin for that forehand passing shot. Oh, that's lovely. And this means that it's 15-30. Berrettini under pressure, serving. As an ace, 30 all. Berrettini serving at 30 all. Liam saying, I personally didn't see Nadal getting far in this US Open this year, although I was half expecting Medi to retain the title. Yeah, so I was also like, I'm not sure about Nadal's form, but then two things made me think that he is actually going to get far. The first thing being that it was exactly the same with the Australian Open. Like, we didn't expect anything, and then he won. So then that told me, like, you should never count them out. And then the second thing was his draw was extremely favorable. But unfortunately, from a Nadal fan perspective, which I'm not, but yeah, then unfortunately he was not able to. I think, ironically, he would have preferred facing Schwartzman rather than Tiafoe, because we know that on a given day, Tiafoe can bring out his weapons and cause a bit of an upset. As Berrettini is facing break point here at 30-40. Berrettini serving, fault, second serve. Slow serve to the Ruud is so far behind the baseline. Berrettini coming forward with a drop shot, but Ruud is there. Volley by Berrettini is not successful, and Ruud breaks in that game. It started with starting very, very far back behind the baseline. Berrettini went for the drop shot as a result of it, but the speed of Ruud is just too much. He got there at the end, and Berrettini was not able to put the volley away, and it's a break for Casper Ruud, and he leads in this second set 2 games to 1. All right, it seems like Ruud is really taking this match by its own. If you're enjoying this coverage, do hit the like button on this video. Let's see whether we can get to 100 likes.
On the card, you'll be singing the blues. He got the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper Ruud. It's Casper Ruud.
All right, we have Gary in the chat. Welcome, saying that you heard it here first. Casper Ruud is going to win the US Open title. What I'm telling you, if he plays like this for the remainder of the tournament, he is going to be very, very difficult to beat. Playing flawless, like no errors. I think he's made 1 unforced error so far in this. 2, according to the scoreboard. 2 unforced errors by Casper Ruud, considering that we're already now like halfway in the second set. That is really, really impressive. Yeah, Liam pointing out, and I saw that as well in the stream from JG and Ben, is that Kyrgios is the favorite to win the US Open. I think it's like 2.3, which I found interesting. I mean, he's my favorite as well, but I didn't really necessarily think that the bookmakers are going to see it that way as well. Yeah, it was interesting to see that he is the favorite to win. And I think followed by Alcaraz and then followed by Berrettini, if I'm not mistaken. And Lexi, obviously, very, very excited about the level of play that Rudy's bringing to the table here now with 15 love on his serve, 2 games to 1 with a break already in the second set. He serves the backhand of Berrettini, and the backhand return goes in the nets, and it is 30 love. Silence by the crowd. And Capricorn convinced that Ruud heard JG's comments before the match. So Carrie saying, I agree that Rublev is an outside sleeper chance at winning it all. He's very consistent and an extreme competitor. Jan has this aggressive game. I mean, he will be playing next against Tiafoe, and I would think he's the favorite in that matchup. And then we get to the semifinals, which will be either against Sinner or Alcaraz. And maybe if Sinner and Alcaraz battle it out for 5 sets, then he could maybe be the fresher of the bunch. And then when we get to the final, anything can happen. Especially like if the opponent is someone like Kyrgios, maybe he just loses focus or loses control, and yep, that could easily happen. Hi, Anikat. Nice to have you in the chat. Now, Ruud with a forehand to the backhand of Berrettini goes cross court. Ruud with a backhand to the backhand of Berrettini. If they're going to exchange backhands, I don't know who's going to come out of this one. Berrettini now with a forehand cross court to the forehand of Ruud. Berrettini's movement is very good now. Slice by Ruud. Berrettini with a forehand down the line, but he just goes wide there. Difficult shot because of the slice of Ruud. He had to generate a lot of topspin, and that's something that Tiafoe did so well. I thought in yesterday's match where Nadal was slicing, you have to generate so much topspin, and where he was able to generate enough to get it over the net, but still keep it down below that it doesn't go out at the other end. I think he played that shot tremendously well yesterday. It's 40-15 for Casper Ruud. As he serves with the backhand of Berrettini, tries for the slice return, and it's a winner there by Casper Ruud, cross court, and he leads in the second set as he consolidates his break. Whew, okay, and this match is just steamrolling past us. I mean, I thought at this stage we'll still be battling out for who's like going to win the first set, like a 5-all tiebreaker types of things. But no, Ruud is just running around. As Berrettini will now be serving 1-3. He says the forehand of Ruud, great return. Ooh, and Berrettini tries to go for the cross-court forehand winner, but it just goes wide, and it's love 15. And I think Berrettini is also surprised with the level that Ruud is able to bring to the table today. Big serve. Oh, it's a foot fault. Brave by the umpire to call that, although it's probably automated now, right? As Berrettini... Oh, Casper Ruud, look how far he's standing behind the baseline. As he goes for the backhand to the forehand of Berrettini. He goes cross-court, slice now by Ruud. Berrettini with a cross-court forehand to the forehand of Ruud. Berrettini now with a backhand forehand winner down the line by Berrettini. That's better, and the crowd loves it. And it's 15-all. Yeah, interesting to see Casper Ruud on the second serve deciding to go so far behind the baseline. Berrettini serving at 15-all. He serves the forehand of Ruud. He goes for a block return, and Berrettini hits that forehand in the net. 15-30. Gary saying that if Kyrgios does not drop from the level of the other night, I think he will win the tournament. Just unfortunately, I haven't seen Kyrgios live a lot because he's always playing the night sessions, and then I'm asleep with my time zone. So yeah, for me, it's difficult to assess his form based on highlights. But I mean, if you look at the score lines, it looks like he's very focused this year. As Ruud tries to go for a passing shot with his backhand, but it's just wide, and it's 30-all. Hi, Sam. Sorry, the chat is quite fast, so apologies if I'm missing some of your messages. Second serve now for Berrettini at 30-all. As he serves to the forehand of Ruud, who's standing very far behind the baseline again. Ruud now with a cross-court forehand. Slice forehand by Berrettini. Ruud now with a forehand down the line. Berrettini with a backhand pass. Ruud at the net with a volley. Oh, that's a beautiful volley there by Ruud. Wow. He's just doing nothing wrong tonight. It's not just baseline play. Look at that volley. He went for a forehand down the line and then comes in, and then he executes that volley to perfection. as the ball drops dead at the other side of the net. And it means that it's another break point opportunity here for Casper Ruud. Berrettini serving in the net. Second serve. Break point for Ruud on a second serve. How far is he standing behind the baseline? That's usual stance now. He steps in. Backhand cross court to the forehand of Berrettini. Now forehand of Berrettini down the line to the backhand of Ruud, who goes for a slice. Oh, it's in. But Berrettini gets it back as well. Berrettini now with a forehand down the line. Slice by Ruud. Oh, it's another great slice. And now Berrettini with a drop shot. Oh, and doesn't go over the net. The drop shot by Berrettini does not go over the net. It's another break by Casper Ruud. Is everybody as stunned as I am? Casper Ruud just broke again. What are we seeing? And he leads by 4-1.
On the court, you'll be singing the blues. He got the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper Ruud. It's Casper Ruud.
Now, for those of you that aren't able to follow it on screen, you might be asking, is it Casper Ruud playing this well, or is it Berrettini playing poorly? And I think it's a bit of a combination of both, but I think largely it's actually Casper Ruud's form, which is just excellent. And I think it's putting Berrettini under a lot of pressure, because clearly, I mean, Berrettini is not getting 3 points on his serve. And I think a lot of it has to do with Casper Ruud defending it and returning very, very well. But yeah, I mean, it's a flawless performance this far by Casper Ruud. And if he plays like this and Kyrgios is able to get through his catch-and-off match, that is going to be a Worth Mountain Ring encounter between Kyrgios and Casper Ruud. That's going to be so good if that happens. We don't want to talk too early, especially also given that we know that they have a bit of a bad relationship off court. So that could be very, very interesting. Sam saying, oh, this set is done and dusted. I have to agree with you there, I think this set is done. Niels saying, first time watching and watch along with you, Arman. Cheers from Norway. Nice to meet you, Niels. I assume you are quite satisfied with the score at this stage, as Rudy's serving at 4-1. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Yeah, I mean, hoping you're enjoying as much as I do. I mean, this is really, I did not expect this. I'm at such a high level from Ruud. We know that he has so much talent, but this is the best I've seen him play ever. It's a lovely forehand there by Berrettini down the line as he takes the first point, love 15. Do consider hitting the like button on this video. It seems like we might not be here for very long if Ruud is continuing to play like this. So let's see, maybe we can get to 100 likes before this match is done in about 10 or 20 minutes. As Ruud is now serving at love 15. Fault, second serve. Lexi Singer, all the commentators picked Matteo. No one picked Casper. That's factually correct. I wonder what the odds. Okay, so the odds on the TNNS app was 53% Berrettini. So that was quite tight. But I wonder, like on the betting sites, what the odds were there. Did any of you place any bets on this match? Yeah, in terms of like financial, did you put money on this match for a player? And if so, for whom? And can you then maybe tell me what the odds were? 30-15 for Ruud, holding comfortably this far. Hi, Death Rider. Berrettini looks like he's in a bit of a trouble. Yeah, I think that's a bit of an understatement. As Ruud is now serving a body serve to Berrettini as he steps in. Interesting approach. Ruud now with a volley. Oh, beautiful. And the variety that we are seeing of Ruud. Like sometimes he's so far behind the baseline, and here we see him like going into the net. And it works. Like everything he tries works. It's just one of those flawless nights. Well, day in the case of the United States. And that is unreturned there by Berrettini, and he leads 5-1. Is another breadstick on the cards. I'm just saying, imagine if Casper beat Carlos in the final and secured number 1 and got a Grand Slam before him. It'll be interesting, like if both of them make the final, then they would literally battle for world number 1. And I tried to check online, when is the last time that happened? Where like a Grand Slam final is held and the winner of that match becomes the world number 1. But there was no easy way to Google that, so I don't know what the answer is. Unreturned serve there by Berrettini. Gary saying, great to see all the Rafa fans here today being tennis troopers. Kudos to Francis for the match of his life. Mary getting that baby delivered healthy is now all that matters for the rest of 2022. Yeah, like my condolences to the Rafa fans. I know like a loss is always very, very hard to take. Like personally, I'm a big Roger Federer fan, and every time he loses, it's like it's really, really bad for me. Like for at least 24 hours, I can't really focus on anything else. And then sometimes it lingers longer if it's a really, really heartbreaking loss. For example, as you might guess, the Wimbledon 2019 final, that took me a lot of time to process that. But yeah, I hope for your case that Rafa returns soon. I mean, tell me in the chat, what do you think? When is he going to return? But also given that, oh, what a get by Casper Ruud. Berrettini with a drop shot, but the wheels of Ruud is just too fast. And even the crowd, as I've said, I think they're definitely on Berrettini's side, but even they liked that play there by Ruud, and they appreciated the talent on display there. Is Ruud going to make any mistakes tonight? So yeah, I mean, from certain points of view, you want to see Rafa playing well again soon and take that W to make that lot easier to process. Oh, what a passing shot by Ruud again! And it's 15-40. It's 2 set points. But on the other side, as you say, maybe the now most important thing, and even for the fans out there, is that he can focus on his baby and focus on his family for the time being. 2 set points for Casper Ruud. 15-40. Matteo Berrettini serving at 1-5. He serves a fault. Second serve. As he serves to the... Oh, Ruud running around his backhand to his forehand, but he hits that forehand in the net. 1 set point saved there by Berrettini, and it's 30-40. David saying you picked Ruud on the tennis Reddit predictions. All right. MQR saying that Berrettini will take this 3 sets to 2. As Berrettini is now serving to the backhand of Ruud. Berrettini with a slice and stepping in. Ruud tries to go for the passing shot there, but the spin provided there by Berrettini was too much to handle as Ruud puts that ball wide, and he saves another set point, Berrettini, and it's on deuce. Foot fault again. Now, I wonder, as I said earlier, I assume that is automated as there are no lines persons. But I wonder how that works from a technological perspective. As he serves to the forehand of Ruud, he's standing very far behind the baseline, but it's a great return to the feet of Matteo Berrettini. And it's another breakpoint opportunity here for Casper Ruud and set point opportunity. Yeah, so in terms of technology, I mean, I understand like with the ball, it's like a live Hawkeye, but with foot fault, there should be some sensor or thing. I don't know. It's interesting. I wonder how that works. As Berrettini is now serving fault, second serve. And yes, Ruud's volleys are so delicious. If he can like incorporate that style of play in Wimbledon, he can be very, very successful over there. But he said, like, what, the grass is for golf. As Berrettini goes for a forehand down the line, sliced by Ruud. Forehand down the line again by Berrettini. Berrettini out the net with a volley. Ooh! Ruud almost got there, but Ruud puts it wide. But still, I mean, the wheels of Ruud over there, the crowd is shocked. And we're back to news, and they applaud him. And rightfully so. They might be on Berrettini's side, but even they have to applaud the talent that is on display here by Casper Ruud. Is just insane. Unreturned there by Ruud, and it's advantage for Berrettini. Can he avoid the bakery? All right, advantage Berrettini. As a block return there by Ruud. Berrettini with a big forehand cross-court winner, and Berrettini takes the game. And the crowd is like, finally, we get some. Well, I won't say now they get value for money. They really did get value for money with the talent on display by Casper Ruud. But in terms of match duration, I think they would be relieved that they can maybe stay for a bit longer as Matteo Berrettini is able to hold there and avoids another breadstick as he is now down 2-5. And Casper Ruud will now be serving for the set at 5-2. All right, and Sam pointing out that we should get a fire extinguisher. I messed it up. I can't say it. A fire extinguisher. Is that correct? They should get the fire I can't. Well, I attempted a joke over there. If you think that was good, hit the like button on this video. Thank you very much. Almost got there. Death Rider Harmon is Casper just playing amazing? Yes, he is. He's truly playing flawless. I mean, 4 unforced errors, but I mean, how many of them were really unforced? Like maybe he went for winners over there. I haven't seen many errors from Ruud tonight. He is playing amazing. All right, let's see. Casper Ruud serving to the backhand of Berrettini. He hits that return long, and it's 15-love. And Jimmy's saying there's going to be Ruud in 3. Easy. Let's see. As I'm trying to catch up with the chat here, it's going quite fast. Okay, I'm caught up. As Berrettini goes for a big forehand to the backhand of Ruud, and that's great play there by Berrettini. And it's 15-all. Can he break here? Well, no, I think this set is done and dusted. I mean, it's 2 breaks, a double break that Ruud has. So even if Berrettini breaks back here, I mean, he's still not on serve. 15-all. And Lexi covering her eyes. I can understand it must be like, because I mean, if you can pull this game through, then surely you can take it. But let's not try to jinx this. Okay, 15-all. Ruud serving. Second serve to the backhand of Berrettini. Now Ruud with a backhand cross-court to the backhand of Berrettini. Berrettini running around as Ruud overcooks that backhand. And it's 15-30. And the crowd is now trying to get involved here. As you said it earlier, it's clear that they are rooting for Berrettini in this matchup. As he serves a fault, Ruud, not finding his first serve in this service game. He serves to the backhand of Berrettini. It's a nice and deep return by Berrettini. Berrettini now with a cross-court forehand to the backhand of Ruud. And Ruud overkicks his backhand again. And it's 15-40, and it's 2 break-back opportunities here for Matteo Berrettini. Probably will not change the outcome of the set, but in terms of momentum, I think it can really send a message here to Casper to show, like, listen, my form is gonna increase here. 15-40. Ruud serving to the forehand of Berrettini. Again, a nice deep return. Berrettini with a backhand to the forehand of Ruud. Berrettini with the cross-court forehand to the forehand of Ruud. Also, no, there he goes down the line. Slice by Berrettini in the net. And it's 30-40. Sean saying, I want to grab the put out fire contraption. All right, let's see. 30-40, still another breakpoint opportunity here for Berrettini. Serve to the forehand of Berrettini. Casper with a cross-court backhand. Slice by Berrettini in the net again. And that means that it's another breakpoint saved there by Ruud. And it's now twice in a row we've seen Berrettini slicing his backhand in the net. I don't want to keep on stating the obvious, but we know that the backhand of Berrettini is the weakness of his game. Josh saying that Berrettini has hit 26 unforced errors. He needs to sharpen his game. He's beating himself. Ruud is taking advantage of it. This is how sport works. Take advantage of opponents' errors. Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. Like, and the forehand there goes wide by Ruud trying to go down the line. It's another breakpoint opportunity here for Berrettini. I think so. Berrettini is playing very well. Ruud is playing very, very well. And Berrettini is not playing at his best. And yeah, if he rises his level, we could still be in for a competitive match. All right, let's see. Another breakpoint opportunity. 0 out of 2 for Berrettini this far. That's a great serve by Ruud, but the return is just long. He saves another breakpoint, and we're back to deuce. Josh asking, like, why is he making so many errors? I wonder whether he maybe, like, underestimated Ruud, as it seems like many of the fans and the people that placed bets maybe also underestimated him. So it could be that. It could be a case of he felt like, okay, well, Nadal is out. I mean, there should be smooth sailing. And then suddenly, Ruud is like, I'm not just a clay bot. I actually can perform very well in the hard court as well. And now he's playing his match of his life. Although there's a shank there by Ruud, and that will therefore be another breakpoint opportunity for Matteo Berrettini. All right, let's see. Berrettini, breakpoint opportunity. He returns to the backhand of Ruud, who goes cross-court with his backhand. Berrettini with a cross-court backhand as they exchange backhands cross-court. And Ruud tries to go down the line with his backhand, but it's wide. And Berrettini breaks, and the crowd erupts. Break by Berrettini. As I said, probably won't have an outcome on this match, I think, but it does indeed send a message that he can still keep up in this match. It's a break by Matteo Berrettini. Okay, so can Berrettini hold here and put some pressure on Ruud for the first time in this match? Gary asking, did anyone see the foot fault controversy with Cilic? No, I was asleep last night. I cannot fathom why he purposely puts his foot over the line before serving. Okay, no, so I'm not aware about that. So tell me, like, Harry, what was the controversy over there? Jane saying that I saw him do it all match against Ramos Vinolas, but it wasn't an issue then. So I assume I'm deriving point of messages that he had a lot of foot faults and kept on doing it. 30 love for Berrettini. And the crowd, they are starting to get involved here. Don't worry, Lexi. I think your set is still fine. But as I said, I don't want to jinx it. 30 love, Berrettini serving. To the forehand of Ruud, who tries to go for the block return. I must say the block returns by Ruud is working really, really well here because it forces Berrettini then to generate a lot of topspin on his response shot, which he's struggling to do tonight. 30 love, Berrettini serving to the backhand of Ruud. Berrettini now stepping in with the backhand. Ooh, and that's in. And the response by Casper Ruud is just wide, and it's 40 love for Matteo Berrettini. And it's an ace. It's an ace by Berrettini, and he jogs towards his towel to show that he is now a bit more pumped throughout this match as he holds the game to love, and suddenly is 5 games to 4. Still a break in hand for Casper Ruud, but now the set looking a bit more competitive than how the match previously started. All right, what do you think is going to happen? Can Casper Ruud serve out this second set, or does Berrettini have a surprise for us in store here tonight? Farouk asking, tell me you will win. So, I mean, as it currently looks, it looks like Ruud is in complete control of this match. So how it looks currently, I'm going to say Ruud in straight sets. But Berrettini has shown some glimpses this previous 3 games that he isn't playing his highest level this far in this match, and there is room for improvement, which he is starting doing now. So if he can keep on improving and put some pressure on Ruud, because I mean, as Ruud broke so early, maybe one of the reasons he's playing so well is because he's playing very freely, because he doesn't have scoreline pressure. But as soon as the scoreline pressure starts to creep in, maybe it can also cause Ruud to play worse, as he will now be serving at 5 games to 4 for this set. MJ points out, I really do shift. Yeah, I said in the beginning, Berrettini. Well, you can change your opinion based on new facts that have been presented. All right, let's see. 15 love, Ruud. As he serves to the backhand of Berrettini. Ruud now with a big forehand against the backhand of Berrettini. It's in, backhand by Ruud. Now the forehand of Berrettini goes on the line, but Ruud is there comfortably. Now Berrettini with a cross-court forehand. Slice by Ruud with his forehand. Now backhand slice by Ruud. And the slice just goes long, and it's a massive come on by Matteo Berrettini, and the crowd is also getting involved as it is now 15 all. Carrying the automatic line scoring technology also calls foot faults in New York. Yeah, that's what I guessed based on there being no people there. But yeah, I'm quite interested to know, like, how is it done? What type of sensor do they use for that? Because it can't be like Hawkeye. As Ruud now goes to the backhand of Berrettini. Ruud now with a forehand down the line. Berrettini is able to get there though. Ruud again with a forehand. Berrettini, is it in the net? It's sort of like a wrong footing there that Ruud was able to perform there, and it is 30-15. Jane saying that Chilik put his foot on the line, then lifts it to serve, so he doesn't get a foot fault. That's interesting. That's a very interesting observation. Did the commentators on TV point it out? Right, let's see. Serve by Ruud as he goes now to the backhand of Berrettini. Ruud with a cross-court forehand. Berrettini's there, though. And it's just in by Ruud now. Ruud with the forehand to the backhand of Berrettini. Ruud now with a forehand down the line. Oh, that's a beautiful forehand down the line by Casper Ruud. Nothing Berrettini could do about that. Berrettini was struggling to keep in the rally there each time, and he was able to get the ball back. But Ruud was in control of that rally, being the dominant player in that rally, and it's set points now for Ruud, but this time it's on his serve at 40-15. Can he pull this through? He serves. Late first serve. Second serve. No, sorry, it was late first serve. So it's first serve again. He serves a fault. So it's now second serve. Serves to the backhand of Berrettini. And Berrettini hits it in the net. And it's second set in the bag. Now for Casper Ruud. Doesn't matter that he got broken now earlier. He takes this game and therefore takes this set 6 games to 4. At one stage, it looked like it could be another breadstick. Berrettini was able to show some glimpses of form throughout the set, but in the end, Casper Ruud takes it and he leads 2-1 in this matchup against Matteo Berrettini.
On the court, you'll be singing the blues. He had the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper Ruud. It's Casper Ruud.
Run. If we look now at the second set summary, first serve won 65% by Matteo Berrettini, 77% by Casper Ruud in terms of breakpoints. 1 out of 4 for Berrettini and 2 out of 5 for Casper Ruud. Unforced errors is now more equal, 9 for Berrettini and 7 for Casper Ruud. So we can see that Matteo Berrettini has made less unforced errors in this second set than the first. If you do the math, it's 27 overall, 9 in the second set, meaning that the first one should be 27 minus 9, which is, let me get my calculator out for this one. I am an accountant, meaning that I can't do math. I mean, we all are so reliant. It's 18. I can confirm that it is 18, meaning that he had 18 unforced errors in the first set. So 18, and now he halved it to 9. So can we see a bit of more competitive Berrettini in the third set? Well, from a neutral perspective, I hope so. But we'll have to wait and see. Tell in the chat, what do you think is going to happen? All right, Leia asking, may I ask where these guys are from? I'm not sure whether you refer to the tennis players. So Matteo Berrettini is from Italy and Casper Ruud is from Norway. If you mean me, I'm from South Africa. Gary saying, MJ, no, calls are enforced, no challenging. Yeah, so you can't challenge a foot fault. But complaining, but not challenging. Chilik did plenty of that, but he... sorry, I don't follow that. But you have been right. I just think it's unnecessary risk to take. Oh, and then you said like, well, may not. Okay. Yeah, so Lexi, probably relief there. I mean, at one stage, it looked like it could be tight, but then in the end, Casper Ruud able to pull that service game through. Everything is like Hawkeye, automatic calls by the machines. Yeah, so I understand it's automatic, but Hawkeye, I mean, yeah, I guess I don't really understand how Hawkeye works either in terms of tracking the ball. But they somehow now have to track their feet. I'm quite curious, so like technologically wise, how do they check whether the foot has touched the line? Because I would assume that the foot is more difficult to track than a ball. Well, I mean, what do I know? I don't. All right, Game to Love saying hit the like button for Arma, and I see that we are currently on 87 likes. This may not be a very long match if Casper Ruud is able to keep his form. So let's see whether we can get to 100 likes. Still need 13 more likes, and then we can celebrate 100 likes together. That would be fantastic. All right, and as Gary points out, whatever we want to say about rankings, Casper is living up his so far today. Yep, definitely. He's playing really, really well. And if he can keep on playing like this for the remainder of this match and the remainder of the tournament, we must consider him a contender for this tournament. And Kathy pointing out, I love how Ruud keeps winning on other surfaces and people still insist he's a clay court specialist. His favorite surface may be clay, but the key can play and compete on any surface. Yeah, especially given like since 2022, he has been really improving his hard court game. That being said, though, he doesn't have any titles on non-clay surfaces. Okay, so yes, he's going deep, but he hasn't won a Masters or even a 500 on a non-clay surface. So I can see where people are getting from that perspective. But yeah, he's definitely not poor on the hard courts at all, and also improving as we go on. So I think in a few years' time, you could be considered like as good as it's similar to Dominic Thiem, right? Like Dominic Thiem is considered a clay court player, but he also does so well on the hard courts, having won Indian Wells and also the US Open. He has a hard court title. Oh, sorry, I mean 2022. Well, for 2022, yeah. Sanjay, let's see quickly Ruud titles. I know it's like this year he has 3 250 titles, all of them being on clay. Let's look overall quickly. San Diego, which in German means I'm not gonna go there, but that was for Anchorman fans. So 2021, San Diego, he won hard court tournaments. Let's see, who did he play there? He beat. Oh no, I can't see quickly. View results. So I can see quickly there. Who did he beat in that tournament? He beat Cam Norrie in the final there, San Diego 2021. In the final, 6-love, 6-2. You also beat Grigor Dimitrov in the semifinals, and Sonego in the round before, and Andy Murray also in the round of 16. Yeah, so these are quality players that he's beaten to clinch that title. All right, let's see. Slice by Berrettini in the net. And it's 30 all. Berrettini serving first in this set. Next, he's saying, I know Casper never loses a match up 2 sets. Okay, interesting. I didn't know that statistically. Is that like a fact? Has he never never lost after being 2 sets up? Death Rider saying Ruud's level might drop the set. Yeah, we'll have to see. And Matteo Berrettini's level can rise. There's definitely room for improvement as he serves at 30 all. From a neutral perspective, I really hope that Ruud doesn't break immediately, because then the tension of the match is basically gone. As he serves to the backhand of Ruud, and Ruud overcooks his return, and it is 40-30. So I'm not rooting for any of these players. I'm just hoping for a nice competitive match, which will then mean that I hope that we could go the distance, meaning that Berrettini has to improve here. But Lexi doesn't want to hear that. I'm sure Lexi would be very fine with this match finishing now in 15 minutes. 40-30 for Berrettini. Second serve to the forehand of Ruud. And there's open court there because Ruud was running around his backhand to his forehand, but then it was an open court opportunity for Berrettini to hit a winner. And he takes control and leads this first set. 1-0. And as I said, I feel like this is a must hold for him to show that he is still in this match. All right. Let's see. Can Casper Ruud keep up his form that he's displayed in the first 2 sets? We are on 91 likes. Come on, we need 9 more likes. We can do this, and then we can celebrate 100 likes together. Come on. Hit that like button and we can get to 100. Almost there. Skiing front back asking, does anybody know if the golf match will be covered by GTL? So I'm not sure, but I can't think that it won't. But I can't confirm like who would be covering that. If it, but yeah, as I said, I can't think that it won't be covered because that will be a great match to watch. Now, forehand by Ruud, overcooked, and it's love 15. So tell me in the chat, what are your predictions for the women's side? We've talked now about like how the quarterfinals are looking at the men's side. On the women's side, what do you think is going to happen over there in terms of how the draw is going to play out? I think like a Iga Swiatek versus Coco Golf final could be very, very entertaining. Now Berrettini with a forehand to the final of Ruud, who goes on the line to the backhand of Berrettini. Now a forehand to the forehand of Berrettini again, who's holding into the rally, and Ruud hits the net and it clips out of the court, and it is love 30. Great movement shown there by Berrettini to hold up in their rally. Love 30. As Ruud serves to the backhand of Berrettini. It's a drop, block return by Berrettini. Ruud coming into the net. Oh, but the return is in by Berrettini at the baseline as Ruud retreats. Ruud now with the forehand cross-court to the backhand of Berrettini. Goes also cross-court with his backhand. Now backhand by Berrettini to the forehand of Ruud. Ooh, and Ruud hits his forehand wide. Ruud hits his forehand wide, and it's love 40. It's love 40 and it's 3 break point opportunities here for Matteo Berrettini to lead the set. It's just wide by Ruud, just wide. And the crowd is loving it. So Berrettini has converted 1 out of 4 breakpoints, but all of them were in the same game, if I'm remembering correctly. Ruud now serving fault, second serve. Second serve, Ruud. He serves the backhand of Berrettini. Ruud now with the forehand to the forehand of Berrettini. Now Ruud goes down the line with his forehand. Backhand, cross-court by Berrettini. As they exchange, slides by Berrettini. Drop shot. Ruud gets there though. Berrettini now with the pass. But Berrettini hits that ball out. And it is 1 break point saved there by Casper Ruud. Okay, but Ruud has 2 more break points to save over here. Serving at 15-40. Serve by Ruud. It's a fault. Second serve. Second serve to the back. Oh, it's a double fault. That's a double fault. And you don't want to celebrate a double fault no matter who you're rooting for here. But it is a double fault, and that means that it is a break for Matteo Berrettini. Sorry, I'm struggling to find the buttons because there are so many and they are all over the place. Here we go. All right, and serve and volley by Berrettini. But it's a good lob by Ruud. Ooh, and Berrettini smashes it into the net, like on the top part of the net, and it just bounces out. But it's a great lob attempt there by Ruud. And it's love 15. But it's a good serve and volley attempt by Berrettini as well. I like the play. It's love 15. And Josh points out that I noticed that Ruud doesn't get any aces. That's correct. He has 0 so far this match. Berrettini has 7. So therefore, every ball is played back to him. In my opinion, that's a weakness Berrettini will take advantage of. We'll see whether Berrettini can come back. What I've noticed now, which is interesting, is that Ruud hasn't had any pressure throughout this match. From the beginning, he was leading as he had a very early break. And as I said, that makes him play more freely. And then, like, it looks so calm and collected and no errors. But now we see a glimpse of pressure here. Ooh, that's a great volley there by Berrettini at the net, and he takes the point and it's 50-0. And then as soon as there was a little bit of pressure for Ruud, now having break points that he needs to save, he cracked a little bit, and Berrettini took advantage of that. So it will be interesting to see here whether now a change of momentum can affect Ruud's confidence and therefore the way that he plays. Can he keep on performing that effortless as he did when he was leading in the first two sets? And Lexi there quoting Darth Vader from The Revenge of the Sith. A serve in the net there by Berrettini, 15-0. Gene saying WTA finals will be held at the Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas. 31 October to November 7th. The event is due to return to Shenzhen in 2023. Okay, that's interesting that it will change for 1 year. Shenzhen, I've actually been there. Very like tech-driven city. And hey, Naiji, nice to have you in the chat again. All right, let's see. Berrettini serving at 30-15. Big serve, block return there by Ruud, and it's nice and deep. Now Ruud with a backhand cross-court to the backhand of Berrettini. Ruud in control of this rally. Berrettini holding in. Ruud now with a forehand to the backhand of Berrettini. He keeps on peppering the backhand. Now he goes to the forehand of Berrettini, who did not expect that. And Berrettini slides, and I think maybe he slipped on a bit of sweat there on court, and it's 30-all. Can Ruud break back here? I must say the block return by Ruud is working really, really well tonight. Let's see, 30-all. Berrettini serving. It's a big serve to the backhand of Ruud. Berrettini stepping in. Ooh, and it's just overcooked there by Berrettini, and it's a break point opportunity here for Casper Ruud. Berrettini opting there for the serve and volley. 30-40. Break point opportunity. Can Matteo Berrettini break back? Oh, sorry, Casper Ruud break back. Break point. Berrettini serving. Oh, that's an ace. That's an ace by Berrettini. And he uses the big serve to his advantage. And it's his 8th ace of the match. And it is deuce. Death Rider saying, I just checked and Matteo beat Casper in straight sets in 2020. Do you think Ruud remembers that loss with any way he's played in this match so far? So I don't think we should read too much in that result because Casper Ruud wasn't Casper Ruud yet at that stage. I mean, I just checked now and his year-end ranking after 2020 was 27. So, I mean, yeah, I think at that stage it wasn't really that whole household name that it is today. So, I mean, there are different players today. So I wouldn't read too much in that match. And I don't think they either. As Berrettini hits a forehand to the backhand of Ruud, he now goes to the backhand of Berrettini. Ruud stepping in with a forehand to the backhand of Berrettini. Ruud in control of this rally this far. Berrettini in trouble. Ruud now here with a forehand cross-court and sliced by Berrettini with his backhand. Ruud now with a down-the-line forehand, but Berrettini gets that ball back. That's insane movement by Berrettini as he goes with a backhand to the backhand of Ruud. Oh, and there's a cross-court forehand there by Berrettini, and it's in the net by Casper Ruud. That's brilliant by Matteo Berrettini to hold up in that rally. Casper Ruud was in control of that rally there, but Berrettini was able to get the ball back. Brilliantly done there by Berrettini, and it's advantage for him. Can he make it 3-love? Ems saying, catch you later. Thank you, Ems, for joining us for this bit. Kathy saying the ESPN commentators are saying Berrettini seems a bit slower and might be tired because of less matches played and some 5 status. Oh, that's interesting observation. Yeah, he didn't get a lot of opportunity to build us some fitness before this tournament as he lost both first round matches in his warm-up tournaments. One against, oh, now I'm taking my memory. One was against Tiafo and the other one I can't remember. Advantage, Berrettini. Second serve. Oh, it's a double fault. It's a double fault by Berrettini, and we're back to deuce. Gary Singer managed to pick all quarterfinals for Toronto. Jabeur, Sabalenka, Garcia, and Pegula. For Toronto. And it's a serve there by Berrettini. It's a fault, second serve. Sorry, Gary, I'm not understanding correctly. Like for Toronto? As Berrettini, it's a big forehand wide by Berrettini. And there's another break opportunity here for Casper Ruud. Gene saying tennis to launch a new ATP and WTA mixed event at the start of the season in Australia. The United Cup will replace the ATP Cup, offering top men and women's opportunity to represent the country. Okay, that's interesting. How will it then differ to the ATP Cup? Or is the ATP Cup only men currently? And Berrettini with a big serve there to save again, and we're back to deuce. Yeah, I'm correct in saying the ATP Cup is currently only... I'm getting confused. Is the ATP Cup only men? Oh, obviously, because it's ATP Cup. But why is the cup then where Federer and Bencic played together? What was that again? It's also something similar, and it was in Australia as well, the beginning of the year. What was that? Berrettini stepping in. Oh, what a pass by Casper Ruud. That's going to be on Tennis TV, bro. Berrettini approaching the net there, but it's a backhand pass there by Casper Ruud. That's brilliant, and we're back to deuce again. Oh, Kathy saying it was the Hopman Cup. That's correct. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. That was previously there, and Gene confirming. All right, they say big serve there by Berrettini once again, and he saves another break point, and we're back to deuce. Berrettini's serve so far in the service game, saving him on these breakpoint opportunities. Yeah, so Hopman Cup was the mixed event at the beginning of the year. When did that end? Like, what was the last time that the Hopman Cup was presented? Berrettini serving to the backhand of Ruud. Now, big forehand by Berrettini to the forehand of Ruud. Berrettini tries to go for a big forehand cross court, but it just goes wide, and it's advantage for Casper Ruud. Lexi saying I'm switching to a full live match. All right. Thank you for joining, Lexi. Advantage for Ruud. Break opportunity here. Can the serve of Berrettini keep him out of trouble again? Breakpoint number 4 for Casper Ruud. Berrettini serves. It's a fault. Second serve. And the crowd is very, very silent. Second serve to the forehand of Ruud. He's now very far behind the baseline. Ruud now with a backhand cross court to the backhand of Berrettini. Ruud in control of this rally. Berrettini with a backhand to the forehand of Ruud. And Ruud shanks it. That's a pity. Ruud was in control of that rally. And there was a lot of space to go for a forehand down the line. But he shanks it. And it's another break point. Well, not really saved. Berrettini didn't really anything to deserve it. But it's a break point opportunity missed there by Casper Ruud due to the shank. Kathy's saying a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago, that the Hopman Cup stopped. Okay. It's then longer ago than what I thought. I remember it so clearly. But yeah, it's interesting how time flies. Gene also saying about in 2018. Okay, that's interesting. I liked that cup. I liked it more than the ATP Cup, actually. Oh, 7 volley there by Berrettini, and puts that next volley away, and he clenches his fist as he will now have advantage. I was saying, so I correctly picked all the winners for the Women's Canadian Open. Then I gave my picks for this week. Okay, that makes sense now, because I was confused because you said Canadian Open Toronto, and then you mentioned the quarterfinalists for this year. So that was why I was confused, but okay. And the service returned, and Berrettini puts the smash away. Berrettini puts the smash away, and he leads by 3 games to love, and the crowd is pumped. This match is not over. Berrettini. There were some pressure points in that service game, but in the end, Berrettini able to save all those break points, and he does lead this set 3 games to love. All right, and Casper Ruud is complaining to the umpire. Let's try and hear what he's saying. Unfortunately, I couldn't hear now. He said something about sometimes it's a bit disorientating. Tell me in the chat if you were able to pick up what was the discussion there. The umpire is now on his very old school telephone. I always like, why is it so like old school? Like a telephone. And now that, umpire's on the telephone because of something being disorientating. That's as much as I know. Tell me if you know more in the chat. Kathy's saying, it was one of my favorite tournaments, the Hopman Cup. So I guess then that the new mixed cup that you talk about will probably be like the same as the Hopman Cup then was, which would be interesting. I would like that. MJ saying he's gonna lose and give up. No, I wouldn't say so. Gene, has Matteo ever came back from 2 sets down? That's a very interesting question, and I can't answer you. I can't tell you on top of my head. I can't think of any cases, but it's possible that I missed one in my head. Ruud now with the forehand to the backhand of Berrettini, as Ruud now decides again to run around his backhand for his forehand. It's now happened like, 4 times, and none of those times it worked. So I'm not sure why Ruud is shying away from his backhand, because his backhand hasn't been a problem tonight at all. So it's an interesting observation over there, as Ruud is now serving at love 15. He serves to the backhand of Berrettini, and the return goes in the net 15 all. Okay, they're saying ESPN went straight to commercial. Yeah, so we are not sure what the argument was that Ruud had with the umpire. Death Rider asking whether the telephone has a cord. I'm not sure. It has a cord like between the, like the actual device against the ear, and that has a cord. Yes, it does. That's why it looks so old school. I'm not sure whether there's like a fax machine next to it as well. As Berrettini takes that point, and it's 15-30. Definitely some pressure felt here by Casper Ruud in this set. Oh, G now saying that Ruud is complaining to the umpire about the Jumbotron showing a zoom in on Berrettini's serve toss. But is that like between play? Because I can't think of why that would then be a problem, as my stream has decided to freeze, unless Ruud is just holding the ball. I'm going to assume that's a freeze. Let's try and refresh this. Okay. My browser is now, as my gen that I had earlier today, refreshing. Okay, let's refresh this. Come on. Sorry about the wait. You can hold or click the button to try again. No, that's not good enough. Sorry about that. As I see that Berrettini has a breakpoint, my stream is giving a bit of an issue here. Let's try again. Okay, I'm going to close the browser and open it again. It's the first time that has happened. 'Cause, 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 'c Will I have to log in again? Yes. Okay, logged in. Okay, let's just see on the scoreline. It's deuce, as you can probably see by the scoreline. Let's just try and get back to this match. Okay, we are back. Apologies for that, as Berrettini overcooks that ball and it's advantage for Casper Ruud. So Berrettini had a breakpoint opportunity here to really take control of this set, not able to convert, and it's now advantage for Casper Ruud. Yeah, Jumbotron. I'm also, Barbara, not familiar what a Jumbotron is. I assume it's some form of screen. Gene saying Meskina famously had a similar complaints at the 04 versus Sharapova and lost that match. As Ruud is able to hold there and it's 3-1 for Berrettini. Gene, how on earth do you know these things? That is insane. Well done. Because that's obviously before, I mean, you are studying currently, so I'm assuming that you did not watch that match in 2004. Oh, so Kathy's saying it's live. Yeah, I can think that is then very distracting if they do it live while they are playing. It was also odd. What are your thoughts in the chat about when the roof was closing yesterday mid-play? That was odd. When Tiafoe and Rafa played, the roof was closing, but they continued to play through the roof closing, and it's making quite a noise. I thought that was odd because at Wimbledon, I know that they wait for the roof to close, but it seems like at the US Open, that is not the case. And I really do think that it distracted Tiafoe over there. As we serve Berrettini now. Berrettini with a big forehand winner. Cross court, and it's 15-love. 3-1 for Berrettini. Gene saying a Jumbotron is a very large video display screen of type used in venues such as sports stadiums. Okay, interesting. Gary, thinking back to the evolution of telephones in my life. Yeah, so who in the chat who had a Nokia 3310? Indestructible device. Big forehand by Berrettini to the forehand of Ruud. Berrettini now with the forehand to the backhand of Ruud. He's now doing all the running. Berrettini with a big forehand to the forehand of Ruud. He's holding in there. Berrettini with down the line. Slice by Ruud. Stepping in by Berrettini with a drop shot. Oh, that's a beautiful drop shot. That touch there by Berrettini was just exquisite. And it's 30-love. And he's really now feeling the ball much, much better. I think his confidence is up. He's feeding off the energy that the crowd is now creating. And he is not out of this match. Oh, sorry, I pressed the wrong comments. I wanted to comment on Gary talking about the evolution of telephones. Capricorn, Meskina is the only Russian one-slam wonder. Sorry, I can't remember. That's before before my times. Kathy remembers having a princess phone. Does anybody here remember, or maybe it's just a South African thing, I don't know actually. There was like you get a lucky packet, which is like a bag full of sweets. And then one of those will always like a telephone juice. So it's like a telephone box thingy, and then it's full of juice. Well, obviously not like healthy juice, it's like cool drink, more like juice. And then you cut the top part where like the antenna of the phone is, and then you drink out of the telephone. Does anybody maybe remember that, or is it just something that I had in my childhood? Kathy, my time was rotary dials. All right, then push button, and then wireless, the size of a shoebox. Okay, yeah, no, I missed the rotary dial phase. We have a forehand by Ruud. Now to the forehand of Berrettini. Now backhand slice by Ruud. Berrettini stepping in with a slice of his own. Now slice again. Ooh, it's refreshing. Is this Wimbledon I see before me? Now we have a forehand by Ruud to the backhand of Berrettini. Now Berrettini with a forehand to the forehand. As a forehand slice by Ruud, which I hate that sort. As we have a slice backhand now by Berrettini and a slice by Ruud. And now a slice by Ruud again. And now a drop shot by Berrettini. Oh, just over the net by Berrettini. He apologizes, but I really like the backhand slices that they produced. I never like a forehand slice, but a backhand slice. Oh, it's so refreshing. And it's 40-15. And Berrettini just gave that ball enough air as it jumped on top of the net and then went over, and then he apologized. Kathy saying juice box. Yes, they came in a variety of shapes. Now they're just boxes. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's see. Berrettini serving at 40-15. It serves the forehand of. Oh, it's a serve and volley, but the volley is in the net by Berrettini. It's a great return there by Casper Ruud, and it's 40-30. Berrettini serving. He serves an ace. It's an ace by Berrettini, and he holds and he leads by 4-1, 129 miles per hour. Well done there to Berrettini, who is steadily coming into this match. Can he clinch this third set? Well, at this stage, it looks like he will, as he is leading by 4-1. And what an exciting match we have here tonight. I must say, from a neutral perspective, it's nice to see that Berrettini is stepping up to the game in this match. Will this go the distance? Will it be 3 sets? Ruud, it looks unlikely right now. Will it be 4 sets, Ruud? Will it be a 5-setter? And then, what can happen in the 5th? Because if we get to a 5th, then Berrettini will have all the momentum up until that stage, because that would have meant that he has taken the next 2 sets. Tell me in the chat, what do you think is going to happen from here? Berrettini's level has really climbed. Ruud maybe dropped a little bit, as he's now starting to feel a bit of pressure that he hasn't had in the match this far. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I hope you're enjoying this coverage with me tonight. And we did get to 100 likes. Whoop, whoop. If you have not yet, please press the like button on this video. Let's see, we are now at 100. We are probably not even halfway of this match here, the way that Berrettini is responding right now. Let's see whether we can get to 200 likes. Hit that like button if you have not already. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And together, we will find out whether Casper Ruud can hold on, as he's now serving at 4-1. He serves with the backhand of Berrettini, and the return goes long, and it is 15-love. Gary saying, Kathy, yeah, but rotary dialing. As a child, we shared a telephone number with other families. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know that was a thing. Still remember the number. Tuxedo 29395. The first digits were TU. All right. Oh, now we are sharing telephone numbers of our childhood. It's very interesting that you all remember that. And Death Rising, rotary dials are making a comeback like Matteo. Well, I think a rotary dial making a comeback, that will be like Federer making a comeback. Old vintage. And Capricorn saying that Titi and Zverev has a lot to learn for Berrettini's mental strengths. Yeah, it was interesting. One of the posts that I saw this morning is they were talking about the irony that, there will be a new Grand Slam winner between the bunch, right? And it's interesting that these players, that one of them will get a Grand Slam before the likes of Tsitsipas and Zverev. I must say, I do feel for Zverev. I think if he wasn't injured, he could have done really, really well at this tournament. Big forehand by Ruud. And now he goes to the backhand of Berrettini. Berrettini scrambling, running around, but is holding up in this rally. Beautiful pace by Berrettini. Now he goes with the forehand, but the forehand is just long by Berrettini. And it's 40-15 for Casper Ruud. There's a bit of coaching there, but I mean, as we know, it is allowed this year. As Casper Ruud's father said something there to him, but I couldn't hear exactly what he was saying. Tell us in the chat if you were able to catch that audio. It was English. 40-15, Casper Ruud. He serves to the backhand of Berrettini. It's a good return. Berrettini now with a forehand in the net. And that's held by Casper Ruud quite comfortably in the end. Berrettini still in front of the set with a break. It is 4-2. But Ruud is holding in there.
On the court, you'll be singing the blues. He got the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper Ruud. It's Casper Ruud.
Berrettini now serving no change over, and he's approaching the net, and the half volley there by Berrettini, but Ruud is there. Ooh, but Ruud puts it in the net, and he's like, oh, how did I miss that? Because Ruud was there. He was there, just not able to put that all the way there at the net. And it's 15-love for, oh, that slice is delicious. Delicious slicing there by Casper Ruud with his backhand. 15-love, Berrettini. In the net, served by Berrettini. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna sneeze away. Sorry, I just didn't want to sneeze in the microphone there. Oh, forehand down the line by Berrettini, but Ruud gets there. But the ball by Ruud is just long. His response. It's a great forehand down the line by Berrettini, and that's 30-love. Make Aurel saying Ruud to come back strong in the fourth set from a Norwegian. Yeah, we'll have to see here. The momentum is slowly but surely shifting. Let's see whether Ruud can stop this momentum now clearly shifting in Berrettini's favor. Gary, who thinks there will be any straight set wins on the men's side this week? Oh, that's an interesting question. Let's think about this quickly. Okay, so this one obviously not obviously. We can still see a straight sets affair, but I don't think it's going to happen. Then we have Kyrgios versus Kachanov. I think that could be straight sets. I think that, oh, it's an ace by Berrettini. It's 40-love. Okay, so let's think about that one. I think it will be straight sets, actually. Kyrgios versus Kachanov. Then we have Sinner versus Alcaraz. That has 5 sets written all over it. So that's not going to be straight sets, I think. What do we have also? And then the other match that I'm missing is Tiafoe versus Rublev. I can see that maybe being straight sets for Rublev. Oh, and so held there by Berrettini. And not just any hold. It is a game to love. Berrettini clearly sending a message here that he is back in this game. And that means at this changeover, it is now 5-2 for Matteo Berrettini. All right. So yeah, with regards to the men's, I think Kyrgios, I'm going to say straight sets against Kachanov, and I'm actually also going to say Rublev straight sets against Tiafoe. I do think so. I'm always very, very careful of recency bias, not only from one tournament to the next, but also one match to the next. And yeah, I don't think Tiafoe is going to bring the same level that he had against Nadal. And that's not based on anything. It's just a feeling that I have. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What do you think? Transidil asking who's going to win today. Well, I think we've seen such a complete momentum shift. So before this match started, I said Berrettini in 4. Then Casper took the first 2 sets so quickly. But now Berrettini is making a comeback here. And I think if Berrettini is able to win the next 2 sets, he will have so much momentum coming into the 5th that I struggle to see Casper coming back then from there. So I'm changing my prediction now. Once again, I'm going to say Matteo Berrettini in 5. Kachanov to take a set. Definitely can. most definitely. But if I had to predict, I'm gonna say I'm predicting Kyrgios in 4. Gene saying you have Nick winning in 4. I think for Kyrgios, it's so important that if he loses a set, that it's not the first. I think if he loses the first set, then he loses his cool. So I think, yeah, for Nick Kyrgios, it's very important that he wins his first sets of all the matches that he plays. David saying I'd say Berrettini would show up at some point, so my Ruud and 4 prediction is still very much on. Yeah, interesting to see like if Berrettini is able to get the set, how it will affect the momentum going into the next set. I mean, there's definitely been a drop from Casper Ruud's perspective, and Berrettini has also definitely risen his level and used the energy provided by the crowd. I mean, in the beginning of the match, there wasn't really any energy to work from. But now, as they're getting more involved, maybe he can use that and change the momentum completely to the other side. We'll have to wait and see. As Ruud now, it's a forehand to the backhand of Berrettini, who goes on the line to the forehand of Ruud. And Ruud, it's in the net, and it's 15-30. Now, if Berrettini can break here, that would actually mean a lot, because not only will he then get the set, but he will then also serve first in the next set, which I could think could be very valuable. Sam saying, take us to 5, for goodness sakes. From a neutral perspective, that would be the most entertaining outcome. And yeah, I'm going with your prediction. Yeah, I'm going to change my prediction as this match goes along until the very end, where my prediction matches the actual result. As Berrettini, it's a backhand to the forehand of Ruud. Was that it? I was just in by Berrettini there with a backhand crossword. Oh, it's a forehand down the line. Winner by Berrettini. Showing so much power with that forehand, as the backhand by Ruud was just a little bit short. And Berrettini capitalized as we just approached the 2-hour mark for this match. And it's 2, not only break points, but set points opportunity for Berrettini. Can he convert? I really do think it could help a lot if he serves first in the next set. Let's see. Ruud serving. Let first serve. He serves to the forehand of Berrettini as a slice return. Ruud now with the forehand to the forehand of Berrettini, goes cross-court. Ruud now cross-court with his forehand. Berrettini cross-court, but Berrettini hits that ball in the net. Strange error there. It wasn't really under any pressure. 1 breakpoint saved by Ruud. 1 more coming up to save. And will now be set point number 2 for Berrettini on his return. Been saying Berrettini is 7-18 versus the top 10. Well, it's interesting. I think if you take that in the net by Ruud, I think looking at that record, if you isolate it to Grand Slams, then he's actually doing very well, as it seems like he's only losing against Djokovic the past 2 years. As a serve to the forehand of Berrettini, the second serve, and it's in the net by Berrettini, and we're back to deuce. Yeah, so it would be interesting to have the same stat for Grand Slams if you filter it for that, and also maybe filter it for the past 2 years. Then I think Berrettini has actually done very well against the top 10 who is not Nadal or Djokovic. As we have a forehand, Ruud now approaching the net. Berrettini tries to go for a pass, but it's just wide. And it's now advantage for Ruud as he wins 4 points in a row. And Gene saying I should stop changing my predictions. All right, let's see. Ruud advantage. Berrettini with a backhand to the forehand of Ruud. Ruud now with the forehand to the backhand of Berrettini as they exchange backhand slice by Berrettini and a slice by Ruud as well. Now a slice by Berrettini. Backhand cross court now by Berrettini. Ruud goes for the slice, but the Ruud goes just long, and we're back to deuce. Yeah, so with regards to my prediction, when it was advantage Berrettini, I would say I predicted that Berrettini would break. When it was advantage now to Ruud, I would guess that Ruud is going to hold. Now it's back to deuce, so I'm not really sure what my prediction is for this game, but I'll keep you updated. As Ruud is serving at deuce. That's a big serve. Ruud now going to the net. And it's a lob by Berrettini, which is just wide. And it's advantage for Casper Ruud. Now my predictions are leading to Ruud taking this game. Got a feeling. Gary saying only 7 matches left, but I'm going to say no straight sets wins. That would be interesting. I hate it when a final is straight sets. I mean, a final should never be straight sets. So it'll be good if the final can be at least 4 sets or best 5 sets. That's always the best. And Ruud holds his service game. Berrettini not able to break. And he forces Berrettini to serve out for this third set. Can he do it? Can Berrettini hold out and serve for this third set? Or can Ruud break here and maybe even put this through in straight sets? I have to wait and see. Coming your way now by Game to Love. Well, and the US Open, I guess.
On the court, you'll be singing the blues. He had the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper Ruud. It's Casper Ruud.
All right, and Matteo Berrettini starting off with an ace here. This will be ace number 11 for Berrettini, the 5th one of this set. And as pointed out by, I can't remember now who it was earlier in the chat, saying that Ruud hasn't had any aces this far in this match. Serve in the net by Berrettini. Very interesting comment here by Adrian saying that you went to school with Casper in Norway. That's very interesting. Tuning in here to watch along and learn a bit more about tennis, as I'm quite new to the tennis term. That's fantastic, Adrian. And it's always so refreshing to have new fans. I love it when I'm commentating and we get new fans in the chat and they have questions about how this works. And it's just then so refreshing to see the game that we all love evolving and getting new fans. So, and I guess with Casper Ruud still being relatively young, he still has a very exciting career. So it might be interesting from your perspective to decide I'm going to root for Casper Ruud and follow his career, which could still go on for maybe 15 years. Going from strength to strength. But yeah, welcome Adrian in the chat. I hope you enjoy this coverage. As we are at 15 all, Berrettini serving. As he serves to the backhand of Ruud, is standing very far by Iceland. Half volley by Ruud. By Berrettini. But it's in the net. I can see why he went for the half volley there, because Ruud was standing very far behind the baseline. It's 15-30. Bit of pressure here for Berrettini. Yeah, as Kathy points out, welcome, Adrian, and you will find that the Game to Love family is just so welcoming. We are all a nice, happy family. All right, let's see. Berrettini serving at 15-30. It's a lit first serve. Gary pointing out, that's why I say never change the best of 5 in slams. This is where you prove who you are. And I 100% agree with you. I don't know, Gary, whether you saw on Twitter, there was a debate. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Jose had a conversation with Ben Rothenberg, and they suggested that to prevent these matches from going so late in the night, we saw with Chilik and Alcaraz, they suggested that we have best of 3 up until a certain round. And most people disagreed with them. Oh, it's a big forehand there by Berrettini, but Ruud gets it back. Oh no, it's just wide by Ruud. And Berrettini takes that point, and it's 3 all. But then most comments say that, no, we should not change it to best of 3. And it seems like you also wanted to stay best out of 5. And I agree with you, because exactly, as you state, the big 3 have 63 slams for a reason. And then I would also then add to that, there's a reason why the likes of Zverev and Tsitsipas do not have Grand Slams, but multiple Masters 1000s. All right, let's see. Berrettini serving at 3 all. He serves a fault second serve. Let second serve. Oh, and Sam saying you went to school with Iga. I didn't know that. That's interesting facts. Yeah. MQ, went to school with Da Vinci. At what schools are you guys that you're with all these celebrities? It's insane. As Berrettini, it's a forehand cross-court to the backhand of Ruud, who goes cross-court with his backhand. Now just exchanging cross-court rally here. Ooh, and Berrettini, it makes a very odd error there with his forehand in the net. And that means it's a break points opportunity here for Ruud. Oh my goodness. Berrettini trying to serve here for the set. But Ruud has a break points opportunity. And that's after, remember, this is after Berrettini had 2 opportunities to break in the previous game to take the set early. Now suddenly we might be looking at making it level. 30-40, Berrettini serving. That's an ace. Clutch, clutch, clutch. And we're back to deuce. Ace number 12. Gary went to school with Adam. Eve went to an all-girls school. All right, let's see. Big serve there by Berrettini to the forehand of Ruud. It's just in by Ruud there. Now to the backhand of Berrettini. He goes to the forehand of Ruud. He goes down the line to the forehand of Berrettini. Now Ruud with the forehand down the line. Backhand cross-court by Berrettini. Now cross-court backhand exchanges over here. We will go down the line first. Still going cross-court. 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 Oh, down the line by Berrettini, but it's in the net. He tries to take the first initiative over there, but he's that forehand in the net, and it's advantage again for Berrettini. Can he break back? And the last rally is 22 shots. What entertainment we are presented with here tonight. If you are enjoying this with me, hit the like button on this video. Come on, let's get it 200 likes. We are 310 people online. If you have not yet, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and let's together enjoy the remainder of this match as Ruud is now here with a break points opportunity. Can Berrettini save it with another big serve? Big serve, but Ruud hits a block return back. Oh, it's a big forehand down the line, but Ruud gets back. Now smashed by Berrettini. And it's smashed away there by Berrettini. And he shouts as he saves another break point. And we're back to deuce. Big serve there by Berrettini, but it's also a great block return there by Casper Ruud, which has been very, very effective tonight. Sorry, Sam saying exactly. Sorry, I'm a bit behind now, so I'm not sure what you're referring to, but great, I'm glad you agree. Probably with regards to a best out of 5 for Grand Slams. All right, as Berrettini is now serving into the net at deuce, trying to serve out this third set at 5-3. He serves to the backhand of Berrettini. Serve and volley. The volley. But Ruud gets there with his wheels. Oh, and Berrettini puts it in the net. What speed there by Casper Ruud to get to that drop shot. That was just marvelous. I have to applaud there for Casper Ruud. Well done. Well done. Look at that speed. And the control to get that ball over the net once he got to the ball. And it's again advantage Casper Ruud. And Sam pointing out that I should maybe now change my prediction once again. Well, I'll change my prediction once he breaks. I need more data. As Berrettini is serving in the net. Serve, second serve. And Berrettini's very far behind the baseline. It's volley by Berrettini in the net. In the net by Berrettini, and Ruud breaks back. I can see why he went for the volley. Once again, Ruud was very, very far behind the baseline. So naturally, Berrettini went for the half volley, but the return was just good enough where Berrettini was sort of in no man's land. He probably wanted to go for the volley, but then wasn't able to get there in time. Went for a half volley in the net. Ruud breaks back, and suddenly we are back on serve. How did this happen? Berrettini had 2 set points opportunities on the serve of Ruud. Not only did Ruud hold, but he breaks back, and we are back on serve in this third set. And suddenly, it looks like this match can be over in this set already. Well done for Casper Ruud as he fights back and says, no, I don't want to go and take this in a long match. I want to take this now.
On the card, you'll be singing the blues. He had the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper Ruud. It's Casper Ruud.
Well, I must say, I did not see that coming. There was a complete momentum shift towards Matteo Berrettini, and suddenly it's back on serve. How did that happen? A lot of people suggesting that is a choke here by Berrettini, and I have to agree with you here. But the set is not done. Can Berrettini break here and take this set, or will Casper Ruud level this to 5 games all, as there is a packed crowd here at Arthur Ashe tonight? Death Rider asking, how about a best out of 5 for the women's from the semis onwards in majors? It's an interesting idea. I don't really have a big opinion on that, as Ruud is now hitting a forehand, and Berrettini tries to go for the passing shot, but it's just wide, 15 love. I think what would be nice about that is it would then cause less upsets. Obviously, the more sets you have, the less upsets you will have. But I'm not sure how I feel about a tournament changing the quantity of sets mid-tournament. I'm not sure how comfortable I feel with that. Whether it's becoming like whether it's men or women, and whether it's like the women now going to 5 or the men being 3 and then 5. I don't know. Changing sets mid-tournament, it's I'm not a big fan of changing a mid-tournament, to be honest. And it's 30 love for Casper Ruud. And I'm sure Lexi is relieved that Casper is showing some fight here in this set. All right, let's see. Ruud serving at 30 love. Serves the forehand of Berrettini. It's a good return. Berrettini now with the backhand to the backhand of Ruud. He goes cross-court to the backhand of Berrettini. Now forehand of Ruud to the forehand of Berrettini. Ooh. Great movement there by Berrettini, but he hits his forehand just wide, and it's 40 love. And suddenly it's like the energy is sucked out of the stadium again as Ruud is making a comeback here. 40 love. And Ruud has won the last 5 points. Forty love to the forehand of Berrettini. Ruud now with the forehand. Berrettini with a big forehand winner, cross court. As the ball was just a little bit short there by Casper Ruud. And Berrettini knocks himself on the head, as he knows that there were so many opportunities that he missed. He must just be careful not do a Husney with his racket against his face. 40-15, Ruud serving to the forehand of Berrettini. That's nice and deep. Now Berrettini with a backhand to the forehand of Ruud. Oh, that's a big forehand winner. And he makes a statement there, Casper Ruud, as he holds. And suddenly, out of nowhere, we are even at 5 games all in this third set. Is this the last set? Or are we just halfway? That's the beauty of tennis. You don't know. There's no clock ticking. It's the scoreboard, and you have to get over those scoreboard lines. This can be over within 20 minutes, or we could not be halfway off this match. We don't know. Stick with me, and together we'll find out what's going to happen.
On the card, you'll be singing the blues. He had the shots, he don't know how to lose. It's eating up, cause he's lighting the fuse. It's Casper Ruud. It's Casper Ruud.
And Berrettini now serving at 5 games, all under pressure again. He gets the first point, and it is 15-love. Berrettini has to find his serve if he wants to stay in this set. Some 3 points would really help him. As he serves a fault. Second serve. He serves with the backhand of Ruud, who's standing very far behind the baseline. Now Ruud with a forehand to the forehand of Berrettini, but Ruud is in control of this rally. Berrettini now with the backhand to the backhand of Ruud as they go in the middle of the court. As a sort of a shank there by Ruud. I don't think it's really a shank. He just tried to generate a lot of topspin, mistimed it, and it went behind the baseline. 30-love for Berrettini. Death Rider says, I think they're in the qualifying rounds where the first 2 rounds are best out of 3 and the final qualifying is best out of 5. Yeah, so I don't really... Oh, what a forehand winner there by Berrettini. 40-love. So I wouldn't really regard it as the same tournament. Also supported by the fact that if you can lose in the qualifying rounds and still participate in the main draw, then you are known as a lucky loser. Whilst if you lose in the tournament itself, then you don't progress, even if your opponent retires thereafter. The classic example being in the Wimbledon, where Taylor Fritz lost against Nadal, and then Nadal withdrew, and then Taylor Fritz wasn't allowed to now play against Kyrgios in the semifinal, but Kyrgios rather had a walkover to the final. So I think that's also a further point to regarding it as different tournaments, the qualifying and the main tournament itself. So yeah, I don't think it's exactly the same. As Berrettini is able to hold here, and he will force it to at least a tiebreak as he leads now by 6 games to 5. The question is, which player will be able to hold their nerve in the closing end of this third set? Whew. Tight, very tight. Trade asking how many people lead the show Game to Love. So there are 2 founders, Ben and JG, and they are Game to Love. The rest of us are only guests that appear now and then. And we are, on top of my head, we have like, okay, so my name is Haman. Hello. Then we have David, and then we have Megan, and we have Liam, also sometimes covers some of the matches. It's been a while since he's done one. And then we have Nicolette, new edition from America. And am I missing some? Oh, then we have Roland from the Netherlands. And on top of my head, those are the ones that I can think of now. Yeah, Kathy pointing out that the Master 1000 used to be 3 sets until the final. Then they played a 5 sets final. Yeah, and yeah, it was interesting that way. You know, like then you had those classic Nadal and Federer matches in those 5-set finals in Masters 1000s. It'll be interesting to go back retrospectively and say, okay, all those 5 sets finals, let's just look at the first 3 sets and say what would the result have been if it was only 3 sets. I know you can't exactly say that, because if you knew it's only going to be 3 sets, then you might have played differently. But it'll still be interesting for me to see like some of those matchups. If you only take the first 3 sets, what is the final result? Especially those Masters 1000 finals on clay, those battles that they had. All right, let's see. Ruud serving to stay in this set, and it's love 15 for Berrettini. Lexi, how are we feeling? Well, still has a 2-set lead in the bag. Second serve on love 15. He serves the forehand of Berrettini. And now Berrettini with a forehand cross court to the backhand of Ruud, who goes down the line. Berrettini with a forehand. He slips, but he's right back on his feet. Berrettini now with a forehand down the line, but Ruud gets it back with a slice. That's brilliant by Ruud. Oh, big forehand again by Berrettini down the line. Ruud gets there again. And the smash by Berrettini is in the net. And it just goes to show you, just get the ball back. Your opponent might make an error, and that's exactly what happened there. Ruud, twice, just got the ball back with slices, and Berrettini in the end hitting the smash in the net. Oh my goodness, if that was love 30, that could have been very, very different to a 15 all, I must tell you. Serve unreturned there by Berrettini, and it's 30-15. Adrian asking, how is the US Open regarded in terms of prestige compared to Wimbledon, French Open, and so forth? So this is obviously very, very subjective, in my opinion. And I guess everybody would agree that Wimbledon is considered the most prestige because it's like this oldest tournament, and they have all these like rituals, and they play in the all white and so forth. So I think everybody would agree that Wimbledon is the most prestige. From there, it's very subjective. I mean, everybody has their own opinions. As we have a big forehand by Casper Ruud to the forehand of Berrettini, and now the forehand by Ruud is in the net, and it is 30 all. Yeah, so Adrian, I think everybody would disagree on the which one is second. Personally, my second favorite is the Australian Open. It's referred to as the People's Slam because it's like a friendly atmosphere, etc. Obviously, it's also going to depend a lot on the player that you support, right? If you're a Rafa fan, it's very likely that the French Open is going to be one of your favorites. And also the time zone also plays a big role, I think. Like, for example, with the US Open, unfortunately for me live, most of the matches are when I'm asleep. So I miss quite a lot of the coverage. As we have a big forehand by Berrettini in the net. Was an opportunity there at 30 all, and now it's 40-30. And Ruud 1 point away from forcing this to a tiebreak. But yeah, tell me in the chat, what are your opinion on this with regards to the different prestiges of the Grand Slams? All right, let's see. 40-30. Ruud serving. Fault. Second serve. Let. That was almost a double fault. To the backhand of Berrettini. Oh, it's a good return. Oh, there's a great response by Ruud, though. That was not an easy ball to handle there by Ruud because the return was just at the feet of Ruud. But Ruud was able to respond there, and he gets that point, and that means at 6 games all. And Adrian, for you that are new to tennis, this means that we're going to a tiebreak. So first person to 7 points, leading by at least 2 points, will clinch this third set. Tell me in the chat, who is going to take this? Is Berrettini going to take this and take us to more sets? Or is Ruud going to finish the match right here, right now? Tell me your predictions in the chat. Who's taking this and what's the score going to be? Berrettini serving first, and it's a fault. Second serve. Oh my word, I'm so tense. Because the match could literally be done within 5 minutes, or we are halfway. Berrettini now second serve to the forehand of Ruud. Berrettini with a forehand to the backhand of Ruud. It's a good backhand by Ruud. Ruud in control. Ruud stepping in with a forehand to the slice of Berrettini, which goes wide. Or it's just wide by Berrettini. And it's a first mini break for Casper Ruud. Berrettini not able to hold his serve with his first service point, and it's a mini break to Ruud as the crowd is stunned in silence. Let's see, what are your predictions? Ted going for 7-3. MG, I'm not sure who MG is. Oh, I assume it's a typo. Do you mean MB? Probably. Matteo Berrettini. Right, Death Rider going for Berrettini, 7-4. Kathy going for Casper in 7-4. Sam saying Casper Ruud will take this, and Lexi being confident that Casper will take this 7-3. All right, let's see. Ruud serving. He serves to the backhand of Berrettini, goes cross-court. Now, we have a cross-court backhand by Ruud again to the forehand of I've mixed them around. Ruud now going to the backhand of Berrettini, goes cross-court. Ruud now with the backhand to the forehand of Berrettini, who tries to go for a big winner. Cross-court Berrettini, but he hits it just wide, and it's a point to Ruud as he leads by 2-0 in this tiebreak. And this match could be done within 10 minutes. We are on 127 likes. Let's see whether we can get to that 200 before the end of this match. Will be a difficult task if this ends right now, but we are almost 400 online. Come on, hit that like button and let's see whether Ruud can pull this through as he serves to the backhand of Berrettini. It's a slice return. Now Berrettini with a backhand to the forehand of Ruud. Goes cross-court to the forehand of Berrettini. It's just in by Casper. Now Berrettini in trouble. Casper and Berrettini overcooks that forehand, and it's 3 points to Ruud. It takes the mini break in the first service points and then holds his serve on both service points, and Berrettini under a lot of pressure here. And I must say, from Berrettini's perspective, he needs to hold both service points here. He cannot afford another mini break. Love 3. 131 likes. Come on, we need 70 within the next 1 minute. We can do it. We can. I have confidence in my viewers online as we have Berrettini serving. It's a block return by Ruud. Berrettini with a big forehand and stepping in. Volley by Berrettini, puts it away. Berrettini puts the volley away at the net, and he gets his first point on the board in this tiebreak. And Lexi saying, I don't like tiebreaks. Me neither, Lexi. It's so nerve-wracking because it can shift so easily because there's so little room for error. Let's see. Berrettini serving. Fault. Second serve. And the crowd is silent. Berrettini serving. He serves to the forehand of Ruud. He's standing very far behind the baseline. Berrettini now with the backhand. Cross-court to the backhand of Ruud. He goes for a slice. Berrettini with a forehand down the line with a lot of topspin. And now Ruud with a forehand to the backhand of Berrettini, who goes, Berrettini pulls it wide. Berrettini pulls it wide. It's another error. And it's 4-1 for Casper Ruud now with 2 mini breaks. And Casper Ruud is this close from now clinching this match in straight sets. And remember, this is after Berrettini had 2 sets points on what was it like? 4-2. No, 5-3 or something. Berrettini was in full control of the set. And suddenly, Casper Ruud is very close to serving out this match. 4 points to 1. As he serves. Alette, first serve. (4-1). From Berrettini's perspective, he has to get a mini break here to stand any chance. It's a fault by Ruud. Second serve. To the backhand of Berrettini. It's a good return. And the forehand of Ruud goes wide. It's a nice and deep return there by Berrettini. And he gets 1 mini break back as they will now exchange ends. Ruud still has a mini break. But if Berrettini can break this next point, then they are back on serve. And this is what makes tiebreaks so nerve-wracking because it can change so quickly as to who's leading. Let's see. Call me touch saying that Ruud's going to win this tiebreak 38-36. And their exchange ends. Ruud leading 4 points to 2. So who are you rooting for in the chat? Are you Ruud fans or Berrettini? If you're a Ruud fan, hit the like button for some support. If you are a Berrettini fan, Hit the like button for some support as Ruud is serving at 4-2. It's a fault. Second serve. To the backhand of Berrettini. Ruud now with a forehand to the backhand of Berrettini again. Ruud now to the backhand of Berrettini again. And now Ruud with a forehand winner down the line. And Ruud is able to keep his cool and he leads 5-2 and he stuns the Arthur Ashe Stadium into silence. Top spin forehand down the line winner there by Ruud. 5-2 and he's 2 points away from taking this match in straight sets. Foot fault by Berrettini. And Gary saying, here goes my no straight sets prediction. Yeah, and I laughed and said, well, this match is not going to be straight sets. And now, look where we are. 5-2. Now, Ruud with a forehand to the forehand of Berrettini, who slices. Ruud with a forehand to the backhand of Berrettini. Berrettini in trouble. Ruud with a forehand to the backhand of Berrettini. Ruud at the net. He puts the volley. Berrettini tries to pass, but he hits it long. Berrettini with his forehand long. And it's 6-2 for Casper Ruud. And he has multiple match points now in the bag. Oh my goodness, I did not see this coming. (6-2) for Casper Ruud. Match points. Berrettini serving. He serves to the backhand, it's an ace. And it's 6-3. And you can see he's frustrated there, Berrettini. He had so many opportunities. But he just couldn't pull it through to take this third set. And now Ruud comfortably. He will now have 2 match points on his own serve. Ruud serving. He serves to the backhand of Berrettini. Now Ruud with a big forehand. Berrettini gets it back. Ruud down the line. Berrettini gets it back with his backhand. Ruud goes to the backhand of Berrettini, gets it back again. Berrettini defending for his life, but he gets every ball back. Berrettini now with the backhand to the forehand of Ruud. To the backhand of Berrettini, goes cross-court. Forehand by Ruud, which goes long. Forehand by Ruud goes long, and Berrettini saves another match point, this time on the serve of Ruud. Great defense there shown by Berrettini. And it's 6-4. But Ruud has another set point on his serve. 2 match points saved by Berrettini, but Ruud has 2 more. Ruud serving, match point. It's a fault. Ruud serving. Second serve to the backhand of Berrettini. Ruud now with the forehand cross-court. Berrettini in trouble. And Berrettini hits it long. And Casper Ruud takes the match. And he is so relieved. And it's a straight sets affair for Casper Ruud. Who saw that coming? Who saw that coming? As they embrace at the net. Ruud showed some excellent form in the first and second set. Berrettini did make a comeback in the third set. Maybe there was a bit of choking at the end. Ruud takes it in straight sets. I know some of you predicted that it could be maybe Ruud, but who predicted it could be Ruud in straights? As he takes that tiebreak, what are your thoughts in the chat? Huh? And Arthur Ashe is stunned in silence. Straight sets victory for Casper Ruud against Matteo Berrettini, and he will take on next the winner of Nick Kyrgios and Karen Khachanov. Well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to hold on here for a bit of a chat with you guys to chat on what exactly has happened here and how is this going to affect the rest of the tournament. If you're leaving us, don't forget to hit the like button before you leave and subscribe to the channel if you are new. What drama? Huh? I did not see that coming. Casper Ruud in straight sets. Especially given how the momentum shifted towards Berrettini. Wow. Adrian saying we'll be returning for a watch-along for Ruud's semi-final. Yeah, it's gonna... I really hope it's against Kyrgios. Like, that will be such a good matchup. So, Adrian, you probably won't know. So Nick Kyrgios and Casper Ruud, they have a bad off-court relationship. So it'll be interesting to see if they play against each other. Oh, my goodness. Death Rider. Okay, I admit, didn't see this coming. I did not see that coming. And Lexi, you must be so happy. Is this the first semi-final for Casper Ruud in a Grand Slam? Well, except for Clay. I think it is, right? Well done for Casper Ruud. Pedro saying no one saw it coming, but Berrettini is to blame. Too many errors. Yeah, so if you look at errors, he had 43 unforced errors to 20 winners. Ruud also 20 winners, but less than half the amount of errors. So yeah, Berrettini made too many. You can see like Casper Ruud didn't have to eat one ace, and he still won in straight sets. Insane. Yeah, I really thought that the momentum is shifting for Berrettini, but he just couldn't pull it through. David, glad for Casper Ruud. I must say, being one of the nicest guys on tour, I'm also glad for him. That being said, I think Berrettini is also one of the nicest guys on tour. And Death Rider saying, well played, Ruud. He could win the whole thing if he keeps this level up. Definitely. So, to put this in perspective, I do think there was a bit of choking involved there by Berrettini. I do think that it helped Ruud that he was leading from the start of the match. So he was like able to play without any pressure really for the majority of the match. The question is whether, if it becomes tight in the first set against the likes of Kyrgios, whether he will be able to play that same freeing form of tennis. We'll have to wait and see. That's asking who's doing the next match. Unfortunately, I am not sure. Kathy saying, hang on. Kathy saying, Ruud doing an on-court interview. Unfortunately, my stream ends as soon as the match is done, so I will not be seeing the on-court interview. Enrique saying, Ruud has improved a lot. His way to play, he deserved to win. Yeah, especially like his results this year on non-clay court surfaces also suggests that he has improved a lot throughout this year. And he's still young. So, I mean, the sky's the limit, really. Shafkat saying Casper Ruud really wants to be number one, it looks like. If Kyrgios underestimates, he'll lose. I agree with you. I don't think Kyrgios will underestimate him, though. Like, Kyrgios hates Casper Ruud. Like, personally. It seems like, I shouldn't just make that blanket statement. It seems like they don't fancy each other. So I think from a Kyrgios perspective, he would really be in focus mode, as he would not want to lose against Casper after their banter that they had on social media. So I don't think Kyrgios will underestimate the match. And Gary, once again, Casper was rude to his opponent. LOL, funny. Lexi saying, congrats, Casper. Well done, Matteo. Yeah, for making the quarterfinal. A good result for Matteo Berrettini. I was asking, who's your favorite player? So I'm a big Roger Federer fan. And I'm very excited for him returning. I'm not sure what to expect from him, to be honest. So I'm just going to enjoy seeing him play again. But it's odd, like I haven't seen him practice at all on social media the past few months. So I'm not sure whether he's even planning on playing singles in the Laver Cup. Maybe he's just planning on playing doubles. But then he is planning on playing Basel Open singles. So that's going to be interesting to see how his form is doing. But also, my favorite player is Roger Federer. Arpet saying you wanted to see Nadal in the final. Unfortunately, not this year. Lexi, thank you, Aman. I really enjoyed your commentary. See you on next stream. Thank you, Lexi. Thank you for joining. It was nice to have you in the chat. And congratulations on Casper Ruud pulling it through. All right. Enrique pointing out the Kyrgios has not won yet. That's very true. He still has to go through against Kachanov. But from a tennis perspective, I think everybody's hoping that we get a Kyrgios and Casper Ruud matchup. I think the odds will be in Kyrgios's favor against Kachanov. In fact, Kyrgios is the favorite to win the tournament based on bets this far, which is an interesting observation. Sorry. But that will be an interesting matchup. Adrian saying, I have watched some Kyrgios. I love watching him. Would definitely be a hard challenge for Casper. Is it correct that Casper will get the #1 world ranking if he wins this Open? Yes, so it's quite an interesting how this works. It's always very complicated because it always depends on the results of other players as well. So it's as follows. So we have Casper Ruud, right? He just won this quarterfinal, and he will now play a semifinal against the winner of Kyrgios and Kachanov. At the other side of the semifinal, you have a player called Carlos Alcaraz. He's this very, very young and up-and-coming Spaniard. Very, very exciting. I mean, last year he was ranked, I don't know where, but it was not inside the top 20. And now suddenly he's ranked like 5th. Like he just did so well, and he's like a teen prodigy coming through the rankings. So if Ruud makes the final and Alcaraz, then the winner of that match will be world #1. And that would be quite exciting if they play for world #1. So if they both make the final, they'll play for #1. If Ruud makes the final and not Alcaraz, then Ruud is automatically #1, regardless of whether he wins the final or not. If Alcaraz makes the final and Ruud not, then Alcaraz is the world #1, regardless of he wins that final or not. And if neither of them make the final, then Rafael Nadal will stay world #1. Okay, so that's how it will work. Arpit asking, is Nadal going to play next tournaments? And then I saw Kathy saying, Rafa is supposed to play the Laver Cup next. And it's everybody's debating on whether it's actually going to happen or not, because Rafa said in his press conference that he will only return when he feels mentally ready. So he is poised to play the Laver Cup, but I think everybody's agreeing that there's a high odds that Nadal is going to skip maybe the Laver Cup, as that is not an exhibition tournament officially, but it doesn't count towards your rankings. It's like a team sport event similar to the Ryder Cup in golf. So personally, I would be surprised if he still plays the Laver Cup, although he might feel like obliged as he committed, and there's probably a lot of money involved in committing to something like that. And they make a big thing out of like the big four being there in the same team for Team Europe. But I won't be surprised if he sits out for the remainder of the year, to be honest. I'm guessing that the Nadal fans would be very happy if he can maybe play in the World Tour finals at the end of the year, because he's never won that tournament ever before. So it will be nice if he can have an opportunity to maybe clinch the title there finally at last. But it's a difficult ask because the courts there are very fast and it's indoors. So it's not Nadal's favorite surface. But also I think like a lot of people are respectful to the fact that Nadal has other things to focus on now with his family. He's expecting a child, so maybe tennis is not the first thing on his mind at this stage. But for fans, it's always easier to get over a loss when a player comes back quickly and gets some W's under the belt. So, but we will have to wait and see whether he returns to the tour this year already or not. So it does saying, so is Megan a big Federer and Nadal, and I like Nadal and Emma Raducanu and Murray. So is Megan a big Federer and Nadal fan, and I like Nadal, Emma Raducanu and Murray. Okay, that's interesting. Are you like from Great Britain that you like Emma Raducanu and Andy Murray? Arpit asking, when will the Laver Cup start? So I can give you the exact date. It's like in 18 days. I saw it on Twitter today. It's 18 days from now. An exact date. It will be the 23rd of September, and it's a weekend. So it'll be the 23rd of September until the 25th of September. And I assume Game to Love will cover it. I can't see how they will not, as it's quite a big event. It's very new, but it's very entertaining. Unfortunately, it's a bit one-sided every year. Like Team Europe is just way too strong for Team World, and I expect it will be the same. But nevertheless, it's still a nice tournament to follow, in my opinion. Yeah, so Kathy is saying, but Rafa is expecting a baby, so maybe he will withdraw. Come on, Gary. See you on the next stream. I hope you get to stream a Roger match. That would be the dream. But I mean, I guess that everybody would be hoping to do a Roger match. So I'm not expecting that I'll be the lucky one to get one if he comes back. But I mean, that would be a dream come true to do a Roger match one day. Where is the World Tour Finals from? Do you mean like where is it going to be? It's in Italy, in Turin. It always was in London, but these days, I think from the first time last year, it's held in Turin, in Italy. And yes, yeah, Adrian, the ranking systems are very complicated. Okay, so yeah, you say you are from the UK. Yeah, thanks, Adrian, for joining us. And I really hope that we got a new fan on board. It will be great if you can follow the tennis with us together at Game to Love. Yeah, Kathy's very soon. So as a Federer fan, I'm very, very excited to see him back again. But as I say, I don't know what to expect of him at all. And you say you will be unavailable during that weekend. Michael saying that just like Stefanos Tsitsipas, Matteo will never win a slam. Never is a long time. I do think at Wimbledon he does stand a chance. I mean, he made a final last year, and this year, unfortunately, he had to withdraw due to COVID. And we know that the grass is so good on the grass. I mean, we saw also with the warm-up tournaments this year. So I do think that Wimbledon is up for grabs, especially as it seems like the other players, except for Djokovic and Nadal, they really struggle on the grass. You know, your Stefanos Tsitsipas, your Medvedevs, your Casper Ruud. You could even say Zverev. It seems like they all struggle on grass, so that makes it also a bigger opportunity for Matteo. But I feel like you need a favorable draw then as well. I feel like against Djokovic, he will probably lose. But if Djokovic somehow loses before he needs to face Berrettini, then I would say because, I mean, as it stands, I would say Berrettini is the second favorite for Wimbledon behind Djokovic. So I do think it's still possible that he can clinch a Wimbledon title. Shafkat saying Alcaraz is the only one left with a Masters title. That's true. That's true. It's an interesting observation. Well, thank you everybody for joining me here tonight. I really enjoyed it. I hope you as well. If you haven't yet, please do hit the like button on this video before we sign off. But I want to thank everybody for joining me. It was straight sets at the end. Didn't think it's going to happen that way, but it was still a high quality match to observe. In the end, it is Casper Ruud who takes this in straight sets, and he will take on the winner of Nick Kyrgios and Karen Khachanov. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and then let's check what other coverage is coming your way by Game to Love of this US Open. Until then, thank you. I enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next stream. Goodbye and stay safe.